Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today's Wednesday, May 27th. My name is Adam. I'm here with my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up? And man, God, we got I was looking over the stuff we should talk about. We were packed last week, with all the season finales and everything, and this week might be a little short. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. But man, before we get into it, how was your weekend?
It was all right.
Oh yeah, did you do anything fun for Memorial Day?
Uh, I worked.
Worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Same here. I worked Saturday. I couldn't get off. Man, I was so close to going to New York too, but couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. But man, yeah, it was a busy weekend. Did some grilling and stuff with the family, but yeah, it was pretty fun. Ran by the comic shop actually. Said hey to the guys there. Got some books that I couldn't pick up the previous week. And set my, what do you call it, a pull list? Yeah, I
Yeah.
set my pull list for the Secret Wars because I want to get all of it like a crazy person. I want to get every single one, and oh man, it was baffling. I only did it for a month because that's what they had there for next month, and it was just ungodly like how
Yeah.
much is there. But it's good. It's good. I looked over the titles and I'm excited for it. And I'm excited for one that comes out tomorrow, the Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool. I'm excited for Wolverine to come back. Like it's weird because he's not in this event. Well, he is in this event in a way, but leading up to it, he wasn't a part of it, and that's weird for Marvel. What was the last big one? The Age of Ultron.
Axis.
Axis, that right? He wasn't in Axis, was he?
I think he was dead before Axis. I think. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Wasn't it?
Because I don't really remember anything about Axis because it wasn't really memorable.
Right. No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't in Axis. He was in because it was Sabretooth. And he was dead, I think. He was dead before that happened.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it's cool. He's one of my favorite characters. I know, he was oversaturated, but I kind of get the feeling like the oversaturation now is more so Deadpool and like Guardians of the Galaxy. They're in everything. But but yeah, man. So I don't know. It was fun. I went to the comic shop, picked up some stuff. So this week that's what I'm kind of looking forward to. But yeah, I mean, let's get into it. I saw Mad Max over the weekend.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
haven't gotten around to seeing it yet, but I hear good things.
yeah, man. That's what I did. I heard good things too. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't know. I've seen Mad Max before. I don't know which one. It's all runs together to me. I know that it was Mel Gibson in the desert with a dog and a gun, and he was being chased by people. That's my memory from the original movies.
That was
Um,
yeah. That was probably Road Warrior.
Road
The first
Warrior, yeah.
That was a weird thing. Like the original Mad Max was not like a desert wasteland. It was weird. It's not what we think of Mad Max now. Like it was
Right,
not like that at all.
right. It was like you could see the city and stuff like that. They had
Yeah.
regular cars. It didn't go to the extreme as it did in the other films, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I remember the Thunderdome one briefly. I remember, you know, uh, for some reason I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. They had the Thunderdome and the people on top of it, and I was like, wait a second, that was the Tupac and Dr. Dre music video that I remember.
Uh,
And I was like, well, oh, okay, it makes sense. They totally stole it from it. Um, but yeah, it was,
yeah.
man, Mad Max. I'll get into that later, but I'll just say it was worth every penny.
Excellent.
See it in the theater. If IMAX, if you can. I know Tomorrowland or Tomorrow World's out or whatever it's called. Probably took
Tomorrowland.
over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, probably took over the IMAX. And the new movie with The Rock will probably take over the IMAX this weekend.
Mhm.
But even if it's not an IMAX, that's a movie you have to see in the theater. I'll get into it later. But it's good. It was worth every ticket. You will not see anything like it.
That's what they keep saying.
Yeah, it's like a ride. The whole thing's a roller coaster. It really feels like it.
Right.
yeah, so I'll get into that later, and I won't spoil anything. We'll get into spoilers, I guess, next week or whatever, whenever
Excellent.
after you see it. So,
Yeah, sounds good. But
uh,
in the meantime, let's get beyond Thunderdome here.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, let's talk about movies. Like I said, we've got a short list today, so this episode might not be as long as we normally are, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get into movies. The first one I see here is Strange.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
that's a
right,
that's a way to put it.
right. So yeah, you go into it about
Well,
Tink.
Disney has been live actioning everything now because
Hmm.
Maleficent worked and Cinderella worked, and so now I mean they're doing what are they doing next? I think they're doing Jungle Book and Winnie the Pooh and Mulan, and I know there's one more in there that I can't remember off the top of my head. And now they've decided they're going to do, hey, you know what? We need a live action Tinkerbell movie. And
Right.
so, okay, fine, cool, whatever. That one, okay, sure, it makes more sense than Winnie the Pooh. But, hey, I'm alright with that. That sounds like something that could work. Who are we going to get to play Tinkerbell? Somebody small, maybe somebody younger, maybe. What are we thinking, Joe? Reese Witherspoon.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I, man,
Right.
I don't know. It could work. I mean,
I mean, she looks like she could be Tinkerbell. I mean, why not? I guess.
I, you know,
She was just in a movie with what's her name? Sophia. Oh, what's her name? My
Vergara?
mind's. Yeah.
No,
She.
that wasn't her.
Oh, it wasn't. I'm
No, it was
losing
Anna
my.
Faris.
Yep. Okay. Whoops. Oopsie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What has she been in recently?
Oh, what was the movie? Wild, I think, was up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She
Yeah,
was in Wild. Walk the Line, Wild, of course, Legally Blonde.
that's if she goes back and channels Elle Woods from
Right.
Legally Blonde, it could work. Like hey, I could
Yeah.
see it. There are definitely worse choices. There are
Hmm.
definitely well, there might be some stranger choices, but it just kind of came out of left field. And
Right.
it could totally it could work. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first name on my list, but yeah.
I mean, like, I think little girls, it's not gonna, they're not gonna care as long as
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
cutesy and Tinkerbell and, I think she could do it. It's just, the reason why I was like, what was, I didn't see this coming. Like, what? I didn't know there was a demand for a Tinkerbell film, but who knows? I mean, little girls love that, so why not? Why not? Um, who else was in it? Let's see here.
Oh, just I had written down there. Was
Oh,
it
okay.
Victoria Strauss who wrote the script for the Finding Nemo sequel? Is going to write the script for it
When is Finding Dory come out?
this winter. Next, I think.
2016.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds right.
All right, that's cool. Yeah. Um, man, how long has it been since Finding Nemo? It's been a while, hasn't it?
God, it's been more than 10 years.
Yeah,
What was?
2003.
Yeah,
Holy crap. It's been a while. Yeah, man. The next Pixar movie actually I think looks pretty cool. The one where it's inside the girl's head.
Inside Out. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that'll be
looks cute.
interesting.
Yeah, it's different. People said Pixar has kind of fallen off the last few years, but I don't know. I think the new one looks funny, and Finding Dory could be cool. I know they're doing a lot of sequels to their films, so who
Well,
knows?
I mean, people have been clamoring for a sequel to The Incredibles since the first one
Oh,
came out. So I mean,
yeah,
this was just kind of a foregone conclusion, really.
right. That's definitely one that needs to be made. Incredibles. I mean, that's the best Fantastic Four film I've ever seen. You know, it's who knows. Oh, did you see that Michael B. Jordan was in the news recently? He came out against the haters for the Fantastic Four.
I saw that, and good for him. Like
Yeah,
I,
yeah. I
I
mean, what he wrote. Anyone that is pissed that he's black and the Human Torch is dumb.
yeah.
You know.
I mean,
Um.
I understand. Like I know I get your viewpoint where it's like,
Right.
it's not like, oh, don't do it because it's like, it's more of, instead of that, create a good character, and
Oh
that's,
yeah,
and
totally,
yeah,
totally.
but yeah, people who are just coming out against this and just being like, why does it have to
Yeah.
be him playing it? Get over it, man.
Yeah, there's a
Just,
million other reasons to not be excited for this film.
yeah, watch the trailer. They're all there.
Right, exactly. My beefs with it is just, it's I've said it a million times in here is that it should be fantastic. It should not be dark and gritty. Doctor Doom, hearing that he's a hacker just sounds so lame. And that's my beef with it. But anyone who's like, "Oh, he can't be black," that's just absolutely
It
ridiculous.
is. It really
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And to me, I mean, he's the best thing going for it actor wise. And you know what I just realized? I didn't even, maybe it just went over my head, but the guy from Turn, who I just saw in King Kong and never realized it, the main guy from Turn here, I gotta look that up, because he played Jimmy in the King Kong movie in 2005. He's been Grimm in the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
New one.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't see him in the trailers much, I guess. They didn't really focus on him. But his name is Jamie Bell.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he's playing Ben Grimm, and I didn't realize that because I guess in the trailer for the Fantastic Four they showed mostly him as the big rocky Ben Grimm. So who knows? I mean, but yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. It's you know 2015. People need to get over that.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, like I said, it's create new characters. I mean, and we'll we'll get in that a little bit later about one that just off the mark with casting. But yeah, so Johnny Quest.
Yes.
This is a new film by Robert Rodriguez.
There. You don't remember the cartoon?
I remember the CGI cartoon.
Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go way back. It was a Hanna
Okay.
Barbera thing, way before that. They still run it on Boomerang sometimes. It's
Okay.
it's exactly what you would expect a family spy cartoon from Hanna Barbera in the '70s to be.
Oh, okay.
And it's it.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. Like, it had. He wasn't there like a bodyguard,
Yeah,
and there was an Indian guy, right?
yeah.
Am I
And
totally off the mark
no,
here?
you good. You got it.
Okay, I don't remember much else
Yeah.
besides that.
No, it was one of those shows that I was like, okay, that's a thing. Like I didn't. It was not one of my favorite cartoons, but yeah, they've Warner Brothers has decided they're gonna do a live action film. Well, they've been working on this for a while. This is a project they've had. It's kind of been stuck in development hell, really, and they're finally pushing it forward. And they got Robert Rodriguez on board to direct, and I
Yeah,
think that's a great idea.
yeah, he'd be perfect for that. Isn't Venture Brothers like a spoof of Johnny Quest?
I've never watched it. I don't know.
What? Oh,
I
Venture
know.
Brothers is funny, and it feels like very. Oh yeah, okay, I'm looking at it right now. Comparing the main characters of the Venture Brothers to Johnny Quest, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay, I totally get it. Yeah, I mean that could be cool, totally. Robert Rodriguez, why not? That's perfect. Perfect match that I could see. I don't know anyone else who could do a Johnny Quest movie.
No, and I mean it's right in his wheelhouse. I mean it could easily be a Spy Kids movie.
Right.
So I mean it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Let's see here. Did you see who was cast as Static Shock?
Well, I've got that down there under TV because
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It was a TV thing?
Well, because that see, it's not really clear because that project is one of the ones that Warner Brothers is doing like digitally. They've got a
What?
partnership with a company whose name escapes me for the moment, but they're doing like some digital media, like YouTube series, the stuff
Oh.
they're doing for CW's Seed platform, like that's all digital.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll save that for TV then, because I thought it
Uh-huh.
was the movie.
No, no.
It's what a strange thing.
Non mi
Okay.
battere
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't much movie stuff this week, huh?
Not really. Oh, we. The only other thing I have on here is a trailer that broke my heart.
Yeah, Point Break.
Uh, uh,
This is
this
boring. It
the
was really boring.
it the reason. Look, here's my thing. There are some movies that if you're gonna remake, you have to update. The problem is a premise like you had with Point Break isn't really something that you can update. It would be like you can't update Top Gun. It is what it is. If you tried to remake it, it would still be the same premise. It would still be the same thing. You can't really. Well, I guess they tried to update it kinda, and they wound up with Stealth. So that kind of speaks for itself. But you know, the what's the line in the trailer where he's standing up and he's giving his speech and he's like, these criminals are like me, extreme athletes, and they're using their abilities to destabilize the global world market. I'm like, that's
Right.
the most 80s sentence ever. And I know this movie
Right.
came out in what, like 90, 91. It was an 80s movie that just didn't come out exactly in the 80s. But that's why this kind of thing just doesn't work now.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. There's a movie I saw last weekend that's very 80s, but they did it well. But yeah, no, I agree with you totally. This is the movie that no one asked for. This is the sequel or I'm sorry, remake no one asked for. No one wants this to be made. I don't think there's anyone that's like, "Oh, Point Break, we should probably remake that." Not a single person would ever want that, and
No,
Hollywood did it.
and it's uh, this, and I mean that's kind of my thing. Is just like why? Not just why make this, but like you can't update this. You can't
It
modernize that premise. It just
it
doesn't
looked like a
work.
commercial for GoPro. Like
Yeah,
just straight up just extreme action. We're gonna be off a cliff. We're gonna jump out of an airplane. It just
I mean we had
I don't
Nitro
know.
Circus the movie. Like that's all I need if I want to see that.
Was that a movie?
Yeah, they did a movie. The
Oh
movie was
wow.
awesome. Yeah, it was basically just like a long episode, but I mean, it was that like if I want to see like, oh my god, these guys are like cliff diving, I'll go watch Nitro Circus the movie. Like I
Right.
just uh, there are some things, and like if you're gonna redo an '80s movie and you're gonna modernize it, you better just nail
You
that.
got to do something
But I mean,
different,
how?
and that's why I mean it kind of goes back to what I saw with Mad Max, where I've never seen anything like that in my life. And I know that they took a lot of it from, of course, the originals, like a lot of the themes and the premise, and then like, oh my God, just everything from what do you call the what do you call in like fantasy games, the guy with the flute or whatever, the ballad, what am I,
The
help me out here.
oh man, I had it and it's gone right now. There are dozens of nerds screaming
Ballard?
at their laptops. The oh come on, I know this
Yeah.
word. The all I can think of is troubadour. Like that's the only word I can think of. Um,
Ballard. It's Ballard, right? Like the guy
I know who you mean.
that
It doesn't.
sings in battle or
Bard,
whatever.
bard. That's
Bard.
the word
Oh
you're looking
God, we were
for.
way
That's
off.
it.
People are
Yes.
yelling. But yeah, the Bard. There's a Bard in that movie, and you see him in the trailer. That is just it's insane. And that's all I'll say. Like just everything in that movie is like insanity, and I'm in. It's like it's the drug I needed, if that makes sense. You can't explain it to anybody. You just have to experience it. And it's just you're like, okay, we're here. It's happening. That just happened. This is about to happen. I'm pretty sure this is gonna happen. And holy shit, I'm glad that just happened. And it's just a roller coaster of 80s just insanity. And you're like, is that there? Oh my God, is he wearing that? Is that what's on his head? Like just like holy shit, the whole film. So it's fun. It's nothing but fun. And that's how you kind of have to do those things. Because in my head, I'm thinking, how is this even being made right now? Who put money into this, thinking that this would even make a dime? And I'm glad it did good. I read that it did good, but I just can't fathom, that someone sat down and was like, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's do this, and let's remake this or whatever." And I'm not spoiling a thing for you because I don't want to, but it's just batshit crazy is the only way I can explain it. And
Well,
that's watching it. You're like, I'm glad this was made. I don't care, how crazy it is or other films you sit and you listen to the dialogue and you listen to how you watch how it's made and how the story plays out and everything else. With this, all that goes away and you don't care. You don't mind that there's hardly any dialogue. You don't care. You're just having fun. You know what I mean? All that goes out the window. So that's an 80s movie done right.
right,
You
and I
know.
mean, there's the idea with something like that is that there are ideas and there are things that you can modernize.
And it's so
Something,
different.
yeah,
It's not people jumping out of an airplane,
yeah,
jumping off of a cliff, jumping into, I don't know, a wave. Like it just seemed like a GoPro adventure.
yeah.
The movie.
No, yeah.
Yeah. But man, there's not much movie news out this week. I did see some stuff for The Martian. Do you know what that's all about?
No.
Yeah, Ridley Scott's The Martian, and it has Matt Damon in it. And
Okay.
it just basically, the images I saw was him on Mars. I didn't see anyone else. I assume it was Mars because it's called the Martian, and the planet looks a little red. I don't know what it's about, but it looks like space, and so I'm in, and it's Matt Damon and Ridley Scott, so why not? But that's all I know about it. I have no clue. I didn't know it was getting made. I didn't know it was going to be in it. But when I saw the still from it, I was like, that looks cool. That looks dope. I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see any of the stuff from Suicide Squad with Batman?
Oh yeah, yeah. The car chase.
And the Joker's car. I don't know what he's driving, but it looks sick.
It's what you would kind of expect a Joker to drive. At least this particular Joker.
This
Anyway,
particular,
yeah.
absolutely. He looks like a baller that's been in and out of jail. So, it's the thing I saw from his car. It looked like Fast and Furious. But the inside of his car was all lit up. Like the entirety of his vehicle inside is all white and
Oh
lit up.
oh yeah. No, it's totally pimped out. Like it's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
it's
So
a whole big thing. And I
it
just
is.
the problem with what's going on with Suicide Squad is we're getting all of this stuff where it's like, look at this, look at that, look at all these things. We're getting them out of context.
And
And I
but how is this all be like most films you see someone sneaks onto a set. It's almost like they want everyone. I feel like we've seen too much.
exactly. And, like, how come we haven't seen anywhere near this much from any movie, any big budget movie? With
Right.
you know what the one exception was? The Dark Knight Rises. How
Yeah.
much of that did we see beforehand?
That's true. There's somebody on set with the camera. How can they just not like set up something where they're like, okay, everyone check your phones and put your phones in a basket. Like some guy named Carlos is taking these pictures and they don't care and he's just releasing them online and like just the scenes from like where he hits Harley and just like clearly it's someone really close in the set recording with their phone and putting it away and it's like they don't care and it's so strange because it's like we're seeing a lot and you're absolutely right, we're all taking it out of context and at this point I think I've seen enough of the how it looks and it's been a few weeks. I'm kind of over it, so it's like the shock of how different he looks and everything else is already gone. So in a way it's a good thing I guess for me because now I'm going into it not with as much anticipation as I was when I first heard about Suicide Squad movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now it's kind of like, okay, I see what the world's like. We'll see. Well, it's everything looks just about as ridiculous as it did when they showed, him with the tattoos. So it's only kind of looked better, if that makes sense, like the car and stuff like that. But yeah, but yeah, man, I don't know if there's much more movie news out there.
I I didn't really see any. I mean, not anything noteworthy, really.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's been a really slow week for a lot of news. Not sure why. We got some big movies coming out, of course, like Jurassic Park. in a few weeks, right? We got the Rock's movie coming out this weekend.
Eh,
You're not gonna see it?
I do not want to see San Andreas. I don't want to see 2012 with The Rock.
I'm
Like
a sucker for The Rock, and I'm a
I
sucker for those kind of films.
and that's
I know they're
fair. Like,
bad. Yeah,
yeah.
and that's the thing. I know they're bad going in. I know that it's gonna probably be boring in most of the shots, but a lot of them are gonna be big, and it's The Rock. I don't know. I'm a sucker for that. So that's one of those. If I'm bored, I have nothing to do, someone hits me up and wants to see a film, I'm gonna go see that. It's not something I'm like, shit, I need to go see that. Like the Ant-Man or Star Wars or something else coming out, or Jurassic World or something else coming out this year that I've been waiting for. Um, but yeah, when's the Poltergeist coming out?
It came out already.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, that's how well it did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was
I,
awful.
I thought it looked pretty good when I saw the trailer. It looked like a shot for shot remake though.
Which was the
But
problem.
oh, okay,
It's
okay.
again, same thing with Point Break. If you're gonna do a remake of an 80s movie, take the 80s out of it. If
That's
you're gonna
true.
try, let me put that a different way. If you're gonna make a modern version
There you
of
go.
an 80s movie, get the 80s out of it. If you're gonna set it back in the 80s, fine, by all means, go for it. But if you're gonna update it, then get don't don't do a shot for shot remake. Don't do that. And that
Yeah.
was kind of what they did, but it was sort of like it just it was lame. It was exactly what I
Yeah.
was afraid it was going to be.
Yeah. And I saw, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I saw that Memorial Day it was 38 years for Star Wars.
Oh, was it really?
38th birthday, yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how many years that's been out. I was just looking at some pictures earlier before we came on the podcast of, the Chinese theater and whatnot, of how many years it's been, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I was just looking up some movie stuff because, like we've said, there's not much out. I'm trying to think what else. I want to go see Tomorrowland. I haven't seen it yet. I heard mixed reviews, but I don't know. It looks interesting. Before I saw Mad Max, or was it Mad Max? It was either Mad Max or
It was probably Avengers.
Avengers. Yeah, they
You're
showed like
talking.
a 6 minute.
Yeah, that was Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, and so they showed the whole thing with George Clooney, and it looked cool. I didn't know what to expect of it because I didn't know what Tomorrowland was about. But I like that. I kind of like going in fresh. Now that I've seen 6 minutes, I kind of get an idea of how like crazy or out there it is, and I don't know. I love those kind of films. Um, I think the most movie I'm excited about coming out is probably Star Wars and then Jurassic World though. So Jurassic World's what in a few weeks?
Yeah, June 12th.
Okay, yeah, that's one I'm psyched for. But yeah, probably next week I'll probably be able to talk about Tomorrowland. That's what I'm gonna go see. Maybe Poltergeist. I don't know. And maybe The Rock. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just throwing them all out there. I'll see one of them, I think, in the next few weeks. But yeah, no, let's go on to movies. Or, I'm sorry, TV. Um, Heroes Reborn.
Yes. Greg, I can never get his last name right. Greg Grunberg
I
is
wanted you
coming
to
back.
do it because I
Yeah.
butcher it.
Yeah, he will be coming. Matta Puckman will be returning, and look, we only need a handful of the original cast.
Right.
Give me like one or two more, and I'll be set, and that'll be enough. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need a full reunion. I don't want that. Give me just like one or two more, and we're
Right.
good.
I want it to be something by itself, something that's standalone, something that can grow and be its own thing, than be a slave to the old series. Like you said, just a few of them, put them in there. Hero was the guy that I wanted. That's the one character, if any, that I'd want to be in it. Hayden Panettiere, I could give or take. But yeah, man, Hero's the one that I wanted to know who's going to be back there. What about Peter, the guy who plays Peter?
I don't think so. No, I don't think Milo's coming
Okay.
back. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think so.
He was like the main guy, right? Like,
Yeah, for a while, but then I don't know. His whole story was part of why it all went off the rails.
That's true. They started going into the parents and stuff like that. But George Takei was cool in it though. He was
He
probably the
was he
one out
was
of the
good.
parent story I
Yeah.
liked. Yeah. When's Ant-Man coming out though?
July. July. I
Okay.
don't have the
Yeah.
date in
Oh,
front of
okay.
me.
July 17th. I'm seeing
Thank you.
here.
Yeah.
I'm weirdly, I'm weirdly, I don't even know the word I would use. I'm excited for that one because I have no clue what it's going to be about.
That's
Like,
well, and here's the thing. Like when everybody was pointing to Guardians and saying that's the big risk, that could be the first flop.
I think
As
Ant-Man is.
as soon as I heard that Edgar Wright was no longer involved, I was like, Ant-Man is going to be the test. If
Right.
Ant-Man tanks, because I mean, what do we had? Iron Man did really well. The Incredible Hulk did well enough. The only like, and this is kind of a strong word, but the only disappointments box office wise have been the Thor movies. They have not performed, and I mean they've done well, but they haven't measured up to the rest of the lineup. But Ant-Man may be the one that you know. I
Yeah.
just, man, I don't know. I wanted to do well. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to do well, and I
I
wanted to be
wanted to do
awesome.
well too.
But like,
It
I
look,
just,
it looks
I
fun. Like everything that I
yeah,
saw from the trailer looked cool. I think the actors are really good behind it. The thing the Guardians had going for it, to me at least, is it was a big space opera and had all these crazy characters in it, and it looked like a lot of fun. I think the first trailer for Ant-Man was not good. I thought it was too
agreed,
serious. Yeah, and
agreed
I
for
thought the
sure.
the latest one, where it shows the Thomas the Train, that might have showed too much, but the little thing like that, I was like, that looks fun. That looks really cool. And I guess that's what, Ant-Man is just such a strange character. Like, you know, most people know the original. It's not even Scott Lang that they know?
Yeah,
So it's just weird.
but I like that they're going with him and not Hank Pym, because
Totally.
I mean Hank. Uh, uh,
No, I
Look,
think it works.
we've got enough tortured scientists on the team already, for one thing.
Right, yeah. No, I think it totally works the way they're doing this. It makes sense, a more modern day telling of it. And I think Paul Rudd's perfect. I mean, I
Yes,
know some
yes,
people don't like him, but I think it's that comedy that they need. And that's what, if you can tell the last few movies, that's who they've added, especially with like Guardians of the Galaxy, and then this, it looks fun. But the thing is, once everyone saw Avengers 2, the big talk was Civil War. You don't hear anyone talking about Ant-Man. Everyone wants to know about Civil War. All these people are in it. It's basically Avengers 3.
pretty much. Yeah.
And yeah, and Tony Stark's in it, or it just or I should but yeah, it's no one's talking about Ant-Man. So you're absolutely right. It's going to be the risk. I'm going to go see it, of course. I think it's going to be fun, but I don't think they're promoting it as much as they should, or I don't know.
No, I don't know, man. I see a lot of TV spots for it.
There are TV spots for it. I guess what I mean is more people. I don't know. They need to get more people talking about it, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah,
Because there's that side of promotion where we can show it on TV as much as we want, but they need people to have conversations about it. I need to see IGN articles. I need to, that kind of stuff, and I don't see that. So, but yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be cool. That's definitely one that I'm excited about. And then, going into next year with Captain America and Doctor Strange. So that's gonna be cool. But yeah, man, I don't. Oh, we're still on TV. I don't know why I went back to movies.
that's all right. We t-
but
we
but
we
but Heroes
wander.
Reborn. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, I'm excited for that. I mean, as we all know, comic book TV shows are in right now. And whenever something's in, everyone says, it's when's it gonna pop? When's the bubble gonna pop? I hope that it doesn't. Hero Reborn, I think it'll bring something. It's hard to explain. It'll bring something new, but in a way, it's still those classic kind of characters that we know from a few years ago. Something different from Marvel and DC, if that makes sense.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, And I don't have it up here, but isn't the new Walking Dead show starting? Is it this year or next year?
I do not know.
It was called Fear the
Fear
Walking
the
Dead,
Walking
right?
Dead, yeah.
Okay, it
I
starts this year,
really?
August.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to come back before the new season of The Walking
Well,
Dead. Because
right,
from what I
'cause
understand,
yeah,
they wanted to do Walking Dead, then Fear the Walking Dead, then Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead.
right.
So we get it all year, and it'll be different stories. So to me, hopefully that won't saturate it with Walking Dead. If it's two completely different stories, okay, I'm good, I'm in, and that's what I think they're going for. So that's exciting. Um, yeah, so speaking of that, we have Empire of the Dead.
Yeah, the big Marvel's been publishing Romero's newest of the Dead story, which has been Empire of the Dead, and it's been picked up by Demarest Films. They were the company behind Tusk and A Most Wanted Man, and they're getting into TV. They're developing, and I cannot remember, but they're developing a show. It's got Hugh Laurie and Tom Hiddleston, and so I'm in. I don't care what it is. I'm in just off that. But they're also going to be developing. They're adapting Empire of the Dead into a TV show.
Wait, so Tom Hiddleston is going to be in Empire of the Dead, you're
No, no,
saying?
no, different show, different show.
Oh,
No, those
okay.
two are in an adaptation of something else that I can't remember, and that's no good. I guess
Okay.
I used
So
to
Tom Hiddleston, is it a TV show or a movie? I'll look it up real
TV
fast.
show. It's
TV show.
yeah, yeah. Just look up Demarest Films.
The Night Manager?
That's it. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. What's that about?
I have no idea.
The night manager of a European hotel is recruited by intelligent agents, infiltrate international arms dealers network. Okay.
And come on, I mean, with House and Loki, sure, sign me up.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I'm in. I'm so in.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. Hugh
That's
Laurie, you're right. I see that.
yeah, that's gonna be the first thing that
So,
Demarest is working on from a TV standpoint, and then they're working to adapt Empire of the Dead kind of as their next show.
but for what channel? Just kind of like a pilot?
I it didn't say, so
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I imagine it would be like a pilot they're doing, and then they'll try and shop it out.
Yeah.
Um, have you read any of the book? Oh, you no, okay. I said I read USA, and I thought, oh, the USA Network. No, no, it's a USA IMDb. But
Yeah.
yeah, have you read any of the comic?
I've dabbled in it a little.
I hear there's like vampires and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the difference. Is like it's zombies and vampires.
Well, that's different. So, that's
Yeah.
cool. It's got George Romero's name on it, so that's
What?
what.
Uh,
Yeah, no,
Anybody
I
that's
know what you
seen the
mean.
last, like 4 or 5 dozen of the Dead movies, like I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of lost its
But that's actually it's been a series. Empire of the Dead is a series that like I actually do want to go take a look at because I've heard kind of mixed things, but like the people that I hear not good things from are people who are like, well, I wouldn't expect them to really get into this anyway.
right.
So it's like it didn't change their minds, but like
Mhm.
from other people that I've heard from, they were like, you should read this. And I'm like, God, this list is getting ridiculously long.
Right. Yeah, totally. I need to catch up on Walking Dead. That was one series that there I left off kind of when they had the big war,
Okay.
and I need to go back and read that. And I'm probably gonna have to start even, because when I leave off of runs, I have to go back and read like 4 or 5 books before it.
Oh boy, yeah, you're
Um,
gonna need a lead up to that.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's the thing is I did this before and I reread it and then I stopped at the exact same place because I was like I'm bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so usually when I get bored with a comic I just put it down. But it's The Walking Dead. I need to go back and reread it and get caught up. I don't know, but yeah, no, I'll check that one out. It seems a little bit different, so that's cool. I'm gonna go by the shop. Will it be today? And I'll see if they have volume 1 or something there. But oh yeah, okay. So they have They call them acts. So Act 1, Act
Yeah.
2, Act 3.
Yeah. It's
That's cool.
it's divided more like a script, the way that he's done it. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. I'll check that out. My pull list from Marvel right now is insane. And I was reading that after DC's Convergence, it's going to be a brand new starting off point to whatever kind of universe they have. They're dropping the New 52 title, and assumably, I hope that it's going to be the same New 52 universe. Who knows? This might be the chance where they can add characters that people have missed, or versions of character, that kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see moving forward. I mean, we anyone that read the Free Comic Book Day know that Batman's going to be not Bruce Wayne. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to jumping into some DC titles again after this whole Convergence thing, because it's really lost me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read any of the Convergence. I'm up to like issue 6 of Convergence, but that's all I've read. I haven't read any of the side issues.
Yeah. It doesn't 8 come out today, or is it
I
next
think
week?
no, eight comes out to, yeah. Well, maybe it's next week. I know 8 is the next one. They've done 1 through 6, and it's like the opposite with the Marvel Secret Wars. I want to read all the side things. Like I want to read them. With DC, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just in the way they've built up to these things, really.
Right. Like I feel like I jumped back into comics right when DC did their New 52.
Yeah.
So those are the characters I care about, not all the other stuff. But with Marvel, I feel like I have more history with those characters since they've always been the same, 616 characters. So like, all the extra storylines I'm totally into, like World War Hawk, and even though it's different, you know what I mean? It's different. It's not World War Hawk. It's a completely different story. I don't know. It's cool, but yeah. So moving on, let's get into the Static Shock news that I
God, do we have to?
briefly talked about.
Really have to? I spent an hour yelling at the ceiling about this.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Well, it doesn't, and it does. But okay. Anyway, the thing is, like, this is one of the projects that DC's working on with a company that I can't remember the name of, to do like digital media. They're working, like, some of the content is going on Machinima, some of it's going on the CW's Seed platform, stuff like that. This is not going to be on TV, kind of thing.
Right.
So one of these projects is Static Shock, and I was like, okay, cool, that would be neat. Starring possibly, now this is just rumored, because what's his name from The Walking Dead ran his mouth off during an interview.
Right.
I can't remember. I keep wanting to say Jesse Tyler Ferguson, but that's not right. It's
Wait, through The Walking Dead?
Yeah, he was doing an interview with somebody, and like he just kind of mentioned this.
What was his character in The Walking Dead?
I can't remember.
Was he in the last season?
I want to say it was Noah. I think, but I can't.
Noah. Okay, so you're talking about the kid from Everybody Hates Chris.
I think
Tyler James Williams.
That's it. Yes, that's his name. That's why I keep
thinking. He'd be a good Static Shock.
He would be a good Static Shock, but apparently it's not going to be him.
I would totally rather have him over Jaden Smith. Anybody.
God,
have you seen his Twitter?
The one that he's not on anymore?
Oh my God, that kid.
Yeah, because he's not on anymore. Jaden Smith has left Twitter. He's not on it anymore. Thank God. But that when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, Jaden Smith rumored to play Static Shock. I was like, wow. Like I look, he was great in The Pursuit of Happiness, and I actually liked him in the Karate Kid remake. I genuinely did, and I know I'm in a very small minority, but I actually didn't think he was as bad as he would wind up becoming.
Right.
That was not. I looked at that. I was like, okay, I see potential here. Like, I see someone who could actually grow up to be a decent actor. And then, we had, like, After Earth, and I went, well, that's out the window.
Those eyebrows, just the way he, just, and it's one of those things where like it's hard to separate the actor and like the shit he says as a normal person.
Yeah.
It's really hard. And so yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Anybody, please, God, anybody else, I will take. Cast Keegan-Michael Key. I don't care.
Yeah, totally. That would be cool.
Else.
That's it. I'm sold. That would be perfect.
Oh God, anybody on this earth other than Jaden Smith, please.
Oh, yeah.
I'm begging you. Let this just be some kind of.
You know how Donald Glover wanted to do Spider-Man forever? He might be too old, I guess, for Static Shock as well. Static Shock's kind of like a teenager, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Donald could do it.
I just want Donald to be a superhero. He's been wanting to be in a superhero movie forever now. And he's too old for Miles. Miles is way too young.
Yeah.
But maybe Static Shock. He could totally pull off Static Shock. But yeah, not Jaden Smith. I'm kind of, and I hate, it's one of those like he's where he's at because of his dad, and it's very clear because he's only in what his dad does.
Yeah.
Or what his dad can get him into, and I don't like that. I don't like that he kind of takes work away from someone. If you're gonna be in your father's films, fine. But if you're going to be in this other, I don't know. And it's such a weird, digital.
Wonder, yeah.
Static Shock's a cool character. Like, he had his own cartoon show. He deserves kind of better than that.
Yeah.
He deserves at least like a regular on CW or Netflix or something like that.
Introduce him on Flash. He'd be a great character on on Flash, and then see if he can spin off from there or something.
Well, speaking of that, did you see that Harley Quinn was supposed to be a big part of the Arrow this season?
Yeah, and then DC said, "Oh no, you can't." It was like Gotham. It was like the idea of Gotham City or Metropolis. You can't. No, you can't say anything about anything like this because we have plans of our own to ruin them on giant screens. You can't do something decent with them on small screens.
It made no sense, and I'm like, why can't they're going to have a Flash movie that is not going to star or have anything to do with the TV show.
But it's going to have the exact same character.
Right. So why can't why can't those characters still play in the same world?
Because DC doesn't have their act together.
And just have Tara Strong do it. Like, just have her do it.
Exactly.
She's gorgeous to me.
Well, she was the voice in that episode.
Oh, yeah, and she could totally be that. She'd be, I guess, a little bit older Harley Quinn, but I don't know. They doll her up, and she doesn't look bad at all. And she could, and she does the voice, like you said. She does the voice for that episode. So I don't know. You could see the potential that they had, and they're just throwing it away.
DC does not know what they're doing with their two different universes, and they're going to find out. They're going to find out the hard way once they're going to say, oh yeah, well, we have these characters on TV, and then we have these characters in the movies, but they're the same characters, but they're not the same people because they're not the same, and they're going to lose people. They're going to lose people, and they're going to wonder why. Because they don't understand, because Marvel got out ahead of them. Marvel got out ahead of them and established the idea of one connected universe. And they're going to look at DC and they're going to expect the same thing. Now, is that fair? No. But is DC doing anything to differentiate? Like, if they were going to do a Flash movie with Wally West, that would be something way totally different and okay, great. Or if they were going to do, why am I blanking on the original Flash's name?
Barry Allen?
No, before him. The first Flash. Wow, it's not a good night for
original Flash is Jay Garrick.
Thank you, Jay Garrick.
Yep.
Use him or use Bart Allen. There are 12 different Flashes they could pick.
Oh yeah,
just
totally.
To not confuse people. But people are gonna see like once we start seeing stuff for the Flash.
Well, Wally West would have been perfect.
Yeah.
And it would have been a way for them to diversify their team because now Wally West he's like mixed in the new series, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right? It would have been a total way for them to not just have a bunch of white people on screen,
How about that?
And What?
I said, how about that?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's it's just it's wasted. And the thing is, we've said this before, at least I have. I'm so excited about their TV stuff more than I am their movie stuff. It's you hear Steven, am I saying his name right? Amell,
Yeah.
you hear him vocalize like just how excited he is for the show and how excited he is for the Flash. He's been I don't know, the flag waver for this, and like people are really behind him, and it shows. Like more people are excited. I think anyone I talk to is into Flash and Arrow. When I talk to them about Batman, Superman, or any of that kind of stuff, they're like, oh, okay, it looks all right, I guess. But they're excited for the shows. They want to know what happens next season, especially the Flash. Like they nailed it with that.
Yeah, they
And
did.
it's gonna be
God.
weird when people go see the film and it's gonna have nothing to do with that. It's such missed opportunity. And I mentioned it last week how they were throwing five, writers at Wonder Woman. It's because they have no direction. They
No.
literally are gonna throw five people at it. Whoever picks the best one or whoever writes the best one, they're gonna take, and it's stupid. Like at least with Marvel, maybe they just don't tell us, but it seems like they have a very clear direction. And even we hear from it afterwards, behind the scenes, where they come out and they say, "Oh, Marvel butted head with us because they wanted to do it this way." But that's just that when you do a Marvel film, you have to understand that you're coming at it with however many films behind you and however many films ahead of you, you have to fit the puzzle. You have to fit the piece in the puzzle. And you're kind of given you can tell the story your way, but if they say put Thor in that cave, you have to put Thor in that cave during that scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just seems like DC's so all over the place
Well,
that they
the problem with DC is they're still stuck on the Dark Knight trilogy. They're stuck. That's why, like with
right.
Marvel, you go into a movie and you're not exactly sure what you're gonna get. You could look at something like Guardians and say that's gonna be different. You could see like there's
Hmm.
gonna be some comedy, there's gonna be some action. It's gonna be a space drama. It's gonna be a kind of Star Wars knockoff with winks and nods to
Right.
everything. Like it's gonna understand what it is and where it belongs, and that's going to be the humor of it. You're going to go into Avengers and you're going to say, okay, this is going to be actiony, but there's probably also going to be some moments in there and some good comedy. You go and it's going to be a little different every time, every movie. But with all of DC's movies looking forward, it's going to be dark and grim and dirty and
Right.
everything sucks and people are whatever and this and that and like it's no you know exactly what you're getting
The
because
Batman
they've
Superman looked like a funeral.
exactly
like
exactly and
and
it's because they've told us
yeah, I
this is our
remember
direction going forward and I'm like that's why I I was so excited when I was like okay Batman and Superman I'm
right.
awesome I'm there I'm so in and the same thing for Suicide Squad I was like okay this is different this could be neat what are they gonna do with Suicide Squad are they gonna have any of the kind of dark humor that you get from the comics or anything no
Right.
why
Yeah,
not?
no, I was
Because we don't understand how our own properties work. Like I have no faith in
oh yeah,
any
you can
DC film
tell
project. Like I
you
don't.
can you can tell the comic people in Marvel are totally involved in these films.
Oh yeah.
You could tell, and that's like to your point. Even my mom. I was talking to my mom. I showed her a trailer for the Batman vs Superman, and she was like, "I don't understand. Why are these soldiers bowing to Superman? They're making him seem like the bad guy." And I was like, "Right? Like it's not normal. Like they should have." A contrast where when you see Superman, it should be bright, it should be hope, it should be what you think of Superman for the last however many years. And when you see Batman, yes, make it dark, make it gritty, make him brooding. There should be a contrast there, and there is none. It's literally they took the Dark Knight and then they just painted Superman with the Dark Knight instead of giving it a difference. And when someone like my mom, who just loves the movies and has kind of, she's known Superman. She's known Superman since, forever, like anyone else. But she's kind of like the test where, like, someone who's not into comic books at all and only knows it through pop culture and stuff, it was wrong to her. It looked different. It was like, no, 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 no. Why are they bowing to him? To me, it looked like that the one video game that they just came out with,
Injustice.
Injustice.
Yeah.
It straight up looked like a cutscene from Injustice,
Yeah.
where Superman is the when you're given when someone has too much power. And so I thought it was strange. And
No.
well, back to the what we were talking about with the with Harley. They took her stuff out of it, which would have been amazing. There was no like, was Manu Bennett in it? He was in it like once this season, right?
Yeah, I
And
think.
it was for nothing. Like they really screwed his character, I think. Like he should, I get taking him away and making someone else kind of like the villain. I don't know. I thought he was such a good character, like in the previous season. It just sucks that he was in it for like I don't even know what happened to him. He escaped and he was put back in a jail cell, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was like, come on. It could have been. I don't know. I think it could have been used a little bit better. Like I would like to see him and a few of the big bad guys later on. Even from Flash, mix them with Flash, have their own like team, I guess. Not Suicide Squad, but you know what I mean, like just their own like we came to screw you up and we brought friends kind of thing. I
Yeah.
don't know, but we'll see, we'll see. Um, but yeah, I thought that was weird. So well, there's not much more TV news. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I saw coming out recently, and there's not. But yeah, man, let's go into video games. Let me say real fast, I downloaded Witcher. It's all on my machine. I'm not at home right now, so as soon as I get there, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing,
There
probably
you
for the
go.
next few days. Because I got a few days off. So next week is I'm going to be talking about The Witcher.
There you go.
Um, what about you? You going to get it from GameFly anytime soon?
I eventually, yeah, I sent back Bloodborne. I played a little
Okay.
bit of it, and then I was like, okay,
Had your fill?
I'm not in the frame of mind for it. And this
Right.
happens with me a lot, where I'm like, okay, this game looks cool. I know what I'm getting into. I'm very well aware, and I played it, and I was like, okay, this is what I was expecting, but I'm just not in the right headspace for it right now.
Right.
And I've been like that with a couple games that I need to go back and be like, okay, let me give this another shot. Nothing springs to mind off the top of my head, but there have been some where I was like, okay, this was cool, but not right now, basically.
The what's it called? The DS game, the 3DS game you said. Bravely
Uh,
Default.
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, okay, and with Bravely Default, it's like, this is gorgeous, this is great, this is a fantastic JRPG, just not right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one weekend I went stupid and I got Bravely Default,
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy Life, and Pokemon, and I thought, what the fuck am I doing? And I played Pokemon because it's Pokemon, and I still haven't got. I have Omega Ruby and I have X, and that addictive nature of me, I want to catch them all. But Bravely Default, I've gone back to a few times, and Fantasy Life, I haven't really started. They're games that you hate, like you said, you have to be in the mood for, and when you're in the mood for it, nothing else kind of quenches your thirst.
Yeah.
Um, but when you're not in the mood, you're like, what the fuck did I do? So, but The Witcher, I have a feeling I'm in the mood to play The Witcher. Like I'm in
There
the
you go.
mood. I want to play a nice, thick, JR or not JRPG, but RPG. And like Skyrim, I have been craving something like Skyrim, and I don't think anything is going to get to that level. But Witcher looks like it's going to be close. All the stuff that I've been reading for the past few weeks is like it's everything it said it was going to be. I know people were kind of upset that it didn't look as well as it did,
Oh, boo
and
hoo.
exactly, and that's not what I care about. I don't buy a game for the visuals at all. I buy the game because of the story and just how it feels playing. And I'm ready to sink into a game like that. I was looking at the map of how big the world was, and it looks cool. And
Yeah.
that was my problem with Far Cry is I liked how big it was, but I wasn't interested in the story in Far Cry 4, and I don't like first person shooters, so that kind of killed it for me. Destiny was the rare exception where I enjoyed a first-person shooter, and is probably the only rare exception where I sit and I could play some Destiny, and I know that's got its expansion just came out. I don't know if I'm gonna get it anytime soon. I know some of my friends are playing it, but I don't know, Destiny. It's strange. I feel like what do you call it? Where you leveled, you capture level or whatever.
Yeah.
And this new expansion, maybe I need to look more into it so I don't sound as ignorant, but it doesn't seem like you go any further with levels. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe you do. I should probably look into that before I say anything. But from what I was reading, it didn't have a raid or anything like that. So I don't know. I'll gauge what my friends are doing and play it. But there's like no new areas, there's no new maps. So that was kind of like, why do I want to buy this again? Because I remember with expansions with WoW, there was a whole new land to explore and a whole new story. And nope. So, but yeah, and that's another game. My buddy, that I used to play WoW with. I used to play back to Jedi Knight Academy, and I'm sorry, Jedi Knight Outcast. He started a clan, BOTF, and I've been playing games with him ever since. We haven't really lost touch. We just haven't played any games in the last few years. We still text every once in a while, but the big one coming up is, I think, for us to play again is going to be Battlefront. But we've been talking about maybe resubbing to WoW and leveling up a character. So that's another one I'm kind of getting the itch for, is an MMO, but nothing's out there. MMO space is dead. But yeah, so that was my ramble about an MMO. But yeah, so anyway, so yeah, Witcher 3, I'll be playing that probably as soon as I get home, and I'm excited to spend the next few days just diving into that and just
There you go.
totally being obsessed with it. Turning off
Awesome.
my phone. So friends, if you're listening, this is why I'm not answering my phone for the next few days. But yeah, man. So I saw the first thing you had on here for news for video games is Need for Speed.
Yes. I
Yeah.
I when I saw, because the first thing I saw was just like, oh, they're rebooting it and they're calling it Need for Speed. I was like, okay, fine. They did that like a few years ago, but okay. And
Yeah.
then I saw what they outlined. It's essentially going to be Need for Speed Underground 3. I'm in. I love that I love that series. I loved both of those games. I am in. You absolutely sign me up.
See, I'm trying to think. I played Underground, but
Yeah.
it's been a few years since I played it. Yeah, I'm not really into the Need for Speed franchise. God, I can't think of the last one I played. I think it was on my PSP, but I'm not sure. Which was the? This is gonna sound like a dumb question. The original was like a cops and robbers one, right?
No, no. That was
Okay.
3. That was Need for
Okay.
Speed 3 Hot Pursuit.
That was the one that got me into it.
Yeah.
Back in the day. That was the one I played Underground. I think Underground was the one for PSP, right?
It
Let's
was. I know
see.
it was a PS2 game. It was also a
Yes.
GameCube game.
Yes,
It
It's on PSP. It's
did it. Okay.
Need for Speed Underground Rivals.
Okay. Sure. That sounds right.
That was the one I played. Yeah. So that's as close as I got to Underground. But it was very much, you could tell it was like Fast and Furious.
Right, right. I mean, the original Underground was very, it was linear.
Yeah.
It was almost like mission based, essentially. Win
Okay.
this race, upgrade your car, win this race, upgrade. And I mean, it was menu driven. Underground 2 introduced like the open world element to it. And that was where it really started to shine, I thought. And then they would take that and adapt it into like Most Wanted was kind of like the next step from that, but it lost something. I don't know. I've never been able to figure out what, but like there was a spark that Underground 2 had that Most Wanted didn't, and that was a bummer.
What
But
was the game that you would be driving? It was like an open world, almost like a city. Was
mhm.
it Midnight Club? Where like you would go up next to cars and you would rate, like something would pop up and you would race them.
I think they did that in Midnight Club. They
Was
did.
it Underground?
They incorporated that into some later Need for Speed games. Uh,
Okay.
the not the last one, not Need for Speed Rivals, but the Need for Speed reboot, where they lied to us and said they were getting something that was part Need for Speed, part Burnout, and then they forgot the Burnout part.
Oh wow.
For which, curse EA and whichever sub company was working on the game, who lied to us.
Yeah.
I've never forgiven them for that, because I was so excited of the prospect of a Need for Speed skinned Burnout game. Like, I want a new Burnout game. Takedown and Revenge were awesome, and then, like, nothing. There was the little digital whatever game. I don't care. That wasn't what I was interested in. Give me a new Burnout game.
What was, and excuse my ignorance, because this is
Sorry.
totally not anything I'm not into. Driving games are not my thing, but Burnout, what was that all about?
Burnout was one that placed a lot of emphasis on crashes, on takedowns, on wrecking your opponent.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah, that was back in like high school, where like it would be crazy crashes.
Yeah, the best ones were way back. Paradise was the one they did for PS3, where it was very open world, but the problem with that was there were no course markers. That was what I hated about that game. It was like, okay, your race starts here and it ends here. How you get there is entirely up to you. And I was like, that's terrible. I understand the idea behind it, to the whole freedom of open world and blah blah blah. I get it, but it sucked. It was one of those things that you're like, infinite ice cream is amazing, and then on like your fourth bowl, you're sitting there going, I don't want any more ice cream.
Right.
It was that kind of thing. But give me a new, old school Burnout game, and I will be yes, take all of the money you need, absolutely.
Right.
But this new Need for Speed, if they're really doing it more of like an underground instead of what they've been doing with Need for Speed and with Rivals, I'm in. I'm so in. Like, I'm excited for it. The idea of like being back in the city and it being nighttime and more kind of street racy. I'm all for it.
I think they're seeing how big, Fast and Furious is, and I know Need for Speed has its own like movie series now. I don't think it did that well.
No, I refuse to acknowledge that ever existed.
Right, but it still has, I don't know, it's still, I think they're taking off the Fast and Furious.
Well, sure, and I mean they did, I think that was the whole point of Underground to begin with, was to combat, like Midnight Club, essentially. And, go for it. Like, they were better games.
Is there any, like, Driver? What was the last Driver game? Remember that one?
There was a fourth Driver. It was last gen, but there was it was Driver. It was like Driver 4, I think, or something.
I remember Driver. I remember, like, running into, like, like people just chilling, eating lunch.
Yeah.
In that game, I remember like it being like the first of that to do that or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, driving games has never been my thing. That's the one thing that takes me away from Grand Theft Auto. I like everything else in Grand Theft Auto except the driving.
Sure.
I forget about that. Every time I buy the game, I'm like, oh, that looks fun. Like the story, everything I'm seeing, and then I get in the game and I realize every fucking mission is a driving mission. And I hate it. So the newer one is a lot better because I don't know, you can change the first person mode and the shooting parts are cool. And I like the story. I wish I could just like they do a Grand Theft Auto like mini series and you just kind of get the cutscenes. I'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. I'd watch that." But yeah, the driving. I don't know why.
You want Grand Theft Auto without the auto, essentially.
Exactly. Because they have some fun stories. Like it's cool, especially the last one. If they make a movie, they should really kind of, take from the last, game and kind of base it around that. That would be cool. But I don't know. Driving games never been my thing. I don't know why. Don't know why.
Fair enough.
Not. Like,
but don't you sit there and lie to me and tell me you didn't like Crazy Taxi. Don't you
No,
dare.
I never really played it.
Ah.
It was Dreamcast, right?
Yes, it was.
Like you pick people up and take them your taxi cab, right?
I loved Crazy Taxi. I I wish that I still have yeah, because the re-release isn't current gen, which bums me out.
Oh, it was PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Crazy Taxi wasn't my thing.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean Mario Kart's the only racing game that ever was like, oh, let's play that, you know. Need for Speed I played with like my brothers as a kid. So like we would sit there, I'd be one, or what was the game? Cruising USA.
There you go.
Yeah, played a shitload of that. That's probably the most racing game I've ever played was that for the 64.
Yeah, I played a lot of Rush, and nobody remembers that franchise.
No, I remember Rush. That was for the 64 too, right?
Yeah, they had two games. They had San Francisco Rush, and then they had Rush 2049. And
Yeah,
they were ridiculous, but they were so much fun.
right. I think we had the 64 one, or at least my friend did. So we'd go to his house and we'd play that. That was kind of like a cool game to, like, I don't know, play with your buddies or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, cruising USA, and hit the cows and stuff, or whatever. You're in Africa and you'd hit the giraffes or whatever crossing the road, and it'd just be chunks of meat flying at the screen. But yeah, that was a fun game.
Beetle Adventure Racing for the win.
What happened?
It's a Beetle Adventure Racing for the win.
Oh, there was one game I did buy. It was for I think the original PlayStation. It was a Porsche.
Yeah.
It was a Porsche. What was it? What's their
911.
models? Boxster? No. Porsche. Here, let me see.
911, probably.
No, it wasn't
No?
a 911. It was their
Spider? Carrera.
No. Why am I doing a brain fart here?
I don't know.
Let's see here. What's the Okay, we're just gonna move on because I don't know. Maybe it was called Porsche Challenge, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was
that
one
was
like
it.
that.
That
Yeah.
was it. Yeah, it was. I don't know. My dad had a Porsche, so for some reason I was like, oh, I love Porsche. I'm not a car guy at all, but that's what my dad had, so I was like, oh, that's cool. I used probably going through a midlife crisis or something, but yeah, it was Porsche Boxsters. That's what it was. It was like nothing. The game was just nothing but Porsche Boxsters, and you just raced. And I don't know why I owned it. I think I probably got it for $5 or something. But yeah. So anyway, moving on in video game news.
Now that we've
Resident.
now that we've taken that whole category out for a test drive, let's move on.
Yeah, exactly. Resident Evil 0.
Yes, Capcom is remastering everything they have. So next is, of course, Resident Evil 0. It's coming out sometime early next year. And I don't care because I was not a fan, really. But okay, it means that we're one step closer to a Resident Evil 2 HD remaster. And
Right.
that one, I will be first in line. I will beat people with a bench to get to that.
Right, and I mean they just did the original Resident Evil
And
remake,
it's
right?
good.
With the mansion.
Yes, and it is
And the second
good.
one's in the city, right? With Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played. See, okay, I played the first one. I played the second one. That's about as far as my Resident Evil gameplay goes.
That's a good stopping point, more or less.
Right. Yeah. That's when it kind of goes all off the hill. No, I mean, I hear 4 is really good, right?
Four was good. Yeah, I'll give
Yeah.
him that. 4 was a great way to do like a more actiony version without going too far. Like 5 went too far. 5 was just a third person shooter. Like that's all it was. 4
Right.
still had the creepy horror elements. 4 was good. 4 was definitely good.
It's the tank controls that I don't know if I would enjoy that again. You know what I mean?
I think they fixed them by
Oh,
now.
they did?
Yeah. I think in the remaster you can choose actually between a newer, sort of more fluid configuration and the older style.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what Zero was. That was GameCube, right?
Yeah, 0 was the GameCube version with Rebecca Chambers, and they were on a train, and then they got into like a different part of the mansion, and there were leeches, and it was a way to expand the universe without
Yeah.
trying to push things forward too far. They could go backwards a little bit now, and
Right.
that's a thing. Like the mythology around those games has always fascinated me.
Hmm.
So like I would I would totally dig like novelizations. Like I know they've made a couple, but I mean I want to go back. Start at the beginning and just give me like the history of Umbrella. Like I would totally devour that.
Yeah, no, I mean I've never been really into Resident Evil. I do know a lot of people love it, especially the older ones. Um, what it wasn't there? There's a new one coming out, right? Or the it was six was the last one, right?
Yeah.
What did I read? Yeah, six didn't do good, right?
6 was not well received, and that was largely because it sucked. So,
Right.
like, I mean, that 6 just picked up where 5 left off in terms of just basically being another third-person shooter, and people went,
Damn.
forget it.
So this franchise is basically like the more we move forward, the worse we're doing.
Yes.
Let's go back and remake the ones that people liked.
Exactly, because Capcom has
Okay.
forgotten their fan base for the last handful of years.
Yeah, Capcom's kind of, I mean, they're not Konami, but they're kind of,
No,
yeah.
but I mean, look, what have they, it's like they've got Street Fighter V coming out. Hooray! What
Right.
about the next any other property in their
Well, it's going to be
wheelhouse?
Street Fighter V and then Street Fighter V Turbo, the Street
Right.
Fighter V Extreme Turbo, Arcade
Street
Edition.
Fighter,
It's
and then, yeah. It's just like, I don't, but where are the other properties? Like, where's the next decent Resident Evil game? Where's the next Devil May Cry? Like, that was one that I was glad they pawned off because the last DMC was awesome.
so Capcom still owns Mega Man, right?
Yes, that's why you haven't seen a new Mega Man game in 45 years.
Yeah, it's
They were
been a while.
because they were going to do Legends 3 for the 3DS. And then through whatever happened, it all fell apart. And people turned on Capcom in droves, myself included. And that's why the guy whose name escapes me, the man who created Mega Man, decided to basically make
It's like
Mega Man.
Kiji,
Inafune. Kenji
Inafune, yeah,
decided to say, well, I'm going to make a game called Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9,
Which
yeah.
is essentially just Mega Man with a different face.
Yep.
And it got crowdfunded like crazy. Because
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
And the problem with all of that was Capcom should have looked at that and said, okay, boy, we screwed up. We need to jump back on this bandwagon. But
Right.
there's been nothing new Mega Man in the last, the last time we had a new Mega Man game was what? The I can't even remember what it is anymore, but it was the series, because we had Battle Network, and then we had like the 8 Battle Network games, and then there were 2 after that, whose names escape me. This is a bad night for names for me, and I feel terrible. But
Yeah,
like
Battle what? What was it called?
well, Battle Network started over a decade ago, and it was a little different. And
Mega
I like
Man
Battle
Battle
Network.
Network.
Yeah, and then it had like 2, 3, 4, and then they got into the Pokemon naming scheme where it was like White Lion and Green Tiger and like so on and so on.
Right.
They got ridiculous. But then they came back. Advent. It was Mega Man ZX, and then it was Mega Man ZX Advent, if I remember right. But they did those 2, and like those were the last Mega Man games of
Right.
any kind. Like we saw him pop up. He was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And then that was it. Like he may pop up here and there, or you may get like a costume in something like Dead Rising or something like that. But there hasn't been a Mega Man game in forever, and I think that's only hurting Capcom.
Totally. Well, you saw that the again a name that I can't pronounce, but Koji Igarashi, the guy from Castlevania
Yes.
that made
Yes.
Castlevania, he's doing a new series as well, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yeah, it's sounding like he's doing the same thing Inafune did, where it was like, hey,
it's the exact same thing that he did, and it got crowdfunding immediately.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but its own sort of thing.
Yeah.
And why not? People want that. Like I think when as much Shovel Knight steals from these games so much so that there's a market there for it. People want to play, the people that are really playing games are kind of like our age, the people that played those as kids. Now, I wasn't really that into it, but I know a lot of people that were. They really love those old Mega Man games, the old Castlevania games. They swear by them. And there's a market out there for it, especially if that's one of those Kickstarters. Bam, when it's within a few hours and you get however much you wanted, it's perfect. So
that should be a heads up to the companies that own these properties.
Right?
If nothing else, from a business standpoint, if Capcom were to actually come out and say we're making Mega Man Legends 3, their money troubles would be over.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
Yeah, no, they won't though. I mean, those I won't say indie games, but those indie stylish games, those old school, the old school, side scroller type games, or the the Castlevania type games, or the Mega Man type games, they're coming back, and you see all these indie games taking from them. Like Axiom Verge is the perfect example of it just stealing everything from it. And it's from Castlevania, and it's good. It got huge reviews. It sold like crazy, and it was one guy that made it, and it was a love letter to basically Castlevania. But yeah, and oh my, it's escaping me here. Samus. Metroid, yeah. See, I was never into the Metroid games, but it's clearly taken directly from it. But yeah, man, it's it's interesting. Those games, it's gonna be cool to see what happens from it. I know Mighty Number 9 is what that comes out this year. Yeah, it comes out this year, September.
Yeah.
Yep, September 15th. So.
And it's gonna sell really well, and Capcom is gonna be kicking themselves, and then they're not gonna do anything about it.
Right. Oh shit, it's gonna be on the Vita. That's gonna be cool.
Oh yeah, it's coming out on like everything.
Yeah. Vita, 3DS, Windows, coming out on OS X. It's going on Apple. That's funny. PS4, Wii U, 360, One. Yeah, that's gonna sell like crazy. But yeah. So, any more video game news before we move on to comics?
Nah, I think we've pretty well run that into the ground.
Word. All right. So comics, man. We'll do comics, and then we'll get into reviews. What the only reviews that we have? Okay, Game of Thrones and Agents of Shield. So I mean, should we spoil the comic stuff? See, that's where.
Well,
we have to, though. The comic stuff we kind of have to spoil. So we'll hold. I guess this part is going to be spoiler section. So here they go. We're going to be talking about Agents of Shield. We're going to be talking about Game of Thrones. Let's talk about Game of Thrones first, and then we'll get into Agents of Shield. Then we'll get into the comics. What did you think of Game of Thrones this week?
I don't know.
They're moving the story along, but I'm tired of terrible things happening.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I'm done with build up. Like, we've been building up a lot this season. Even when other stuff has happened, the bulk of this season has been build up. It's been building to things. Even when things happen, like this week, we had Cersei arrested. It's like, it's a thing that happened, but it's still build up. Like, there's still the bigger confrontation between her and the church and the Tyrells, and there's all of this. It's still building. We're not there yet. Stannis' army marching. It's build up. Everything in the north, build up. Everything with Arya, build up. It's all build up, and it's driving me crazy.
Right. There's only a few episodes left, right?
What was this last one? 7, right?
7, yeah. There's 3 more. Like, yeah, it's way too much build up. I totally agree. The previous seasons, there's always been major things that happen in the first few episodes, maybe the first four, like Jamie get his hand cut off. There's some thing that's like, oh shit, I'm in. What's
Yeah.
gonna happen next? How are they gonna deal with this? That hasn't happened yet. I mean, um, I don't even like the rape scene was probably the big thing this season for me. That kind of was like shocking. It didn't move the story along though. Like it to me it was a little unnecessary. Um,
Well, it cemented just how cruel the kid was. I
right.
mean, we
I mean that
knew it.
makes sense.
I mean, we all
But
knew this was a horrible human being, but
oh
like
yeah. But
this
that's
was
what I
the
mean.
yeah, but like this
Like
was
it wasn't the red wedding. Like
yeah,
it is a horrible thing that happened, and it's actually it was easier to watch the red wedding than it was to watch that scene.
yeah.
But the red wedding moved the story in a completely different direction, and that's yeah, I don't know, just that it like you said, it's just like come on, can I always mispronounce her name, Brienne of Tarth or
Brienne.
Brienne, yeah,
Yeah.
like I wanted that to happen this episode. I wanted something to happen where she came in and tried to rescue or something. No, didn't happen. It was just like, come on. Like how many times? How many? He's Reek. Okay, we get it. They've driven that in. I thought there was a sliver that he would come back, and he didn't. He just, here, master. This is, they don't show it, but he's basically like, this was the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I don't know. I said this kind of last week. I'm at the point now where nothing good is happening. Something happens. Something has to good happen. I'm gonna watch it, of course. I'm gonna finish the series no matter what happens because I'm that much invested. But now it's becoming more of like I'm not as excited to see Game of Thrones as I used to be. I was really excited to see this season. I'm not that excited, and I don't see anything. I mean, it's gonna be cool to see what they do, with Daenerys, and Tywin or Tyra. Oh God, I
Tyrion.
miss Tyrion. Jesus, Tyrion's
Yeah.
dead. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see what happens there. It's like they're moving the chess pieces around the board, but nothing's happening.
I
There's
hate
not.
I hate the middle game. I hate it.
Yeah, and you read the book, so like you
Well, but
probably what's coming, I guess, in a
well,
way.
but look, let me tell you what's different. Everything with Sansa, not in the books. Everything with Tyrion right now, not in the books. Um,
Oh wow.
everything with Jamie, not in the books. Uh, but
Wait, so the only thing is Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. Well, but I mean, even that, like that's different. Like it's
Oh wow.
what's happening with Jon Snow.
I can't think of another storyline that you
Oh,
maybe Cersei that was the only thing you didn't
Cersei,
mention.
yeah, Cersei is in the books, and so is Arya.
I don't
What's
understand the whole thing going on with Cersei either.
the
Like
church
I
is
totally get that the
yeah.
church, but where did these people come from?
They
I mean,
found an opening, and when Cersei elevated them, they would have been nowhere. They would have stayed in a little corner and been nothing. But she gave them just a little bit of power,
right.
and they had enough zeal to pretty much just take over. I mean, that's kind of what they've done now.
Yeah,
Like they've
they used, you're right, they used a little bit of the power they gave her to now they even put her in. So now
hmm
yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens in the capital because the only person with power is them right now
yeah.
and the king, the child king.
Well, Tommen has no real authority, and
Right,
even if he did, he wouldn't know what to do with it.
exactly. So it's I mean, it's a
It's
weird, it's a
basically a
weird.
theocracy right now.
Right, yeah, exactly. You could tell like the people are wanting to take over,
Yeah.
and it's just making me want, Daenerys to come over even sooner, to kind of restore, I guess, order. I don't know. It's Game of Thrones is in a weird place. They're killing off all the people I like. No one good person is winning. All the bad people are winning. It's such a the North. I don't even know what I want to happen there. I don't even
Burn
know who
it
to root
down.
for at this point, except for Peter Dinklage, and Daenerys. That's it. That's the only people I want to root for. And Arya, I guess, the Starks. I'm always down for the Starks, but their numbers are dwindling.
Yeah, big
And
time.
it's I don't know, it's a weird place to be in the series. Something good has to come soon, or it's really gonna lose me. I'm still gonna watch it, of course. I've invested this much time into it, and I don't like it when everything goes good in a series either. Like, I don't like it when the good guy always wins. But Game of Thrones is kind of just laying it on at this point. And what about the Littlefinger stuff? Is that the same?
No,
Oh
that's
no.
something else that's different.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah,
So did
what's
they elevate his character more in the show?
yeah, big time.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing, and this is kind of book spoilery, but it doesn't affect the show because of how they've changed it.
Okay.
Um, in the books, Arya is still in the Vale,
Oh wow.
and there's a look-alike that they're marrying to Bolton. And so I mean it's
Wait, not
that's
Arya then. You mean Sansa?
Sansa. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's different. Uh Everything with
Oh.
Arya is I mean, there are some differences, but they're minor. Where she is and her
So you're
character's
right. They
pretty.
literally just put that rape scene in there just to be like, this guy's an asshole.
Yeah, pretty much. But to
See,
be
that's
well, but here's the thing. To be fair, it's not out of sorts with his character.
no,
It,
it's not. I mean, it makes sense.
I
It
mean,
makes sense story-wise. That's exactly what would happen when you put her in that situation. I
yeah.
totally get that. But the writers, I don't know. I don't know. That's to me it's like the red wedding had to happen because that's how it happened in the books. Most people change that. Most when it goes to the TV show, just like The Walking Dead, there's things that they changed because it didn't fit right for the story. Where there's things that I don't know. That's just weird to me, I guess. I don't know. It makes
Well,
sense that would happen,
yeah, but I
but
mean, I, nobody really. What a difference a handful of seasons makes. Because if you look back on it, if you took Reek out of the room, what happened to Sansa is no different than what happened to Daenerys with
right,
Khal Drogo.
right. Yeah,
Same
no,
thing.
totally. That scene was weird to me when I saw that too. I thought that was totally weird and just disturbing. I guess weird's not the right word. Disturbing is.
Yeah.
It was totally disturbing when I saw that, and I did not. And it was weird how that relationship blossomed afterwards.
Yeah.
It always felt weird to me. It was I don't know. It was strange when some of my other friends would watch the show and they really liked Khal Drogo, and I'm like, but he raped her. Like, how do you come back from that? I don't know. It's such a weird.
By,
The
by
show's so weird.
by
You can't
killing the
imagine saying
horse,
this
that's
type of
how.
stuff in any other kind of show.
Yeah.
How I Met Your Mother can't have these storylines
God.
and it be normal in any sense of the word. But yeah,
Oh
I
boy.
don't know, something good's got to happen. I want to see somebody. I want to see Jon Snow do something good. I want to see Daenerys get a win, and I just have a feeling none of these people are going to win.
Not this
I
season, I
literally
don't
think
think.
the show's going to end with all the good people dead. Bolton's going to be the king, and it's going to go to the end, and I'm going to be so pissed.
I, I, again, here's the thing. Like, the odd part about what's happening with Daenerys and Tyrion, what's happening with Daenerys is more or less what happens in the books.
Right.
But Tyrion is nowhere near there
Oh,
with
okay.
all of this. Putting him in there is interesting.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for them to meet. I'm glad they did. I don't know if that was the best leaving off point, but it's going to be super interesting to see their dynamic together.
Yeah.
Those
Oh
are
well,
two
totally.
people I've been wanting to see.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
I'm the way they've done it works and it makes sense and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
all for it. But it's this is here we have where the paths diverge, and you
Yeah.
see, I know what happens with some of these things, but not with most of these.
Cool. Well, that's cool. I mean, that it keeps you, the reader, interested
Oh
in
yeah.
what's going on in the show.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like where I with The Walking Dead and you with The Walking Dead. You read The Walking Dead too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I imagine how you like watching The Walking Dead now. I have no idea what's going to happen next. I know that they're probably going to introduce some characters and some events might go down, but they'll probably change it for the TV show to keep things interesting. So like major characters' deaths will probably not be the same
Eh,
in the show. They still might, of course, but there's always that chance they might pull someone else that's super popular that everyone likes and is like, let's kill him instead because the characters or the audience of the TV show really like this person. Let's just
yeah.
kill him. They could easily do that, and it wouldn't change the direction of the story. You know what I mean? It would still have that same impact.
Yeah.
So, it's that's cool. I like that. I like when things detour like that,
Right.
detour
Well, I
like
mean,
that.
it's its own thing. It's its own
Yeah.
narrative. It's its own story. It's
And
not.
they've addressed that. The
Yeah.
people who did Game of Thrones, they're like, look, we cannot wait for the books to come out, so the show's going to end how it ends. It might not end the same in the books, but we have to continue on with the story. And of course, George R. R. Martin told them that here's how the book ends. Here's how the series is going to end. So now it's kind of up to them to if they want to tell that same story, or they can make it different. They could totally change it up, and no one's gonna even know. That's the thing. It's just gonna be like the people who are reading the books are gonna be like, okay, I want to read the next book to see if it's anything like this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a
Because that's
cool little.
yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. By the end of this season, we're gonna be caught up with the books.
Wow,
Like
that's
that's
cool.
so next season is gonna be totally uncharted territory.
Oh wow, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be hard to spoil anything. I'm not gonna be able to, because now I don't go on any website that has anything to do with Game of Thrones. I never look at the comments on anything with those, because that one asshole is going to be the first person to go, blah 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 dies in the books, or blah 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 doesn't make it this season, and I never made that mistake with Game of Thrones. I forgot which show I did that with. But yeah, I was like, yep, never doing that again.
Uh-huh.
um, and that's one thing I don't go near because it would piss me off to ever find out. Like if someone told me about the ending of the first season or the Red Wedding or any thing like that, I would be livid. I would be told because I never saw those things coming. But then I guess after the first season, I didn't know what to expect, and that was cool.
Yeah, can you just imagine how like after like season 3, if somebody had said, "Oh yeah, by the way, don't worry, that by the way he dies," like that, how many people would have freaked out?
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. Oh yeah. But man, it's Game of Thrones is something else. Well, yeah, we should probably move on. What about Marvel Agents of Shield? What did you think about that?
Season 2 was a lot stronger than the first season,
Oh yeah,
for
oh
for
yeah,
sure, and they did some stuff that I wasn't expecting. Uh,
right. Yeah, no, it's to me it dragged its feet a little bit in the middle.
yeah.
I didn't like the splitting up of how Shield was very, two different groups, and I didn't like that the new characters we were introduced to were suddenly, for a few episodes, made the bad guys. It's like
Well,
I just started to like them, and I get in a story sense that makes sense. You want to throw them off the viewers,
yeah.
but it was like I was just starting to like them. Please don't make them the bad guys, and now they're like the bad guys. And then it came back. It came full circle. They weren't the bad guys the whole time, but it was a little strange. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. You tell me, what did you think about it?
Well, it was just I liked. I'm kind of with you, like the idea of like Shield and the real Shield. I was like, oh god, we're doing this, aren't we? We're really
Mhm.
doing the whole the biggest problem of spy anything. Nobody can trust anybody. So
Right.
everybody distrusts everybody, and then eventually somebody loses a hand.
I thought
It
Edward
happens.
James Olmos was just totally misused. He should be in it much longer than he was. Um, I just didn't like how they introduced his character. He didn't feel threatening in any way. He didn't feel like, not threatening, but you know what I mean? Like he didn't feel like, I don't know. I thought his character was misused. Like I know they were trying to go make him more like the Battlestar Galactica character that he was.
Yeah.
But
But I liked his scene in Afterlife. I liked that meeting because leading up to it, you're getting this impression of like, oh, this is how it's going to go down. This is what's going to happen. That entire like 3 episodes leading up to that is like, if this is okay, well now they're going to have a meeting. Well, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's all going to fall apart, and it's all going to be his fault. And then you realize like, look, he's not a bad guy.
right, yeah,
He's genuinely not.
yeah,
Some of their practices are questionable, for sure. I'm on board with being anti-indexing, for sure. But
yeah.
it turns out he didn't want a war after all,
Right,
and
exactly. I
and
don't know. I guess I would have liked to see a little bit more of the Adama character though. Like
yeah,
I know they were trying to go for that, but I don't think they got it. And I don't know. It was interesting. I liked how they ended this series. I liked
season.
how yeah, the series, I'm sorry. I liked how it went in just such a like now that I think they're gonna do what is it, the Secret Warriors?
No, no. Where are you going?
The okay, so the team that Sky and uh Coulson is setting up at the end.
Oh, like a secret Avengers kind of deal almost.
What? Well, I think they were called what, the New Warriors or the Secret Warriors. It was Nick Fury's team.
Oh,
Like okay, so her character in the comic book came from the team that Nick Fury set up after Civil War.
okay.
It was called oh God, the Secret Warriors, right?
Okay, that sounds really
Um,
stupid.
hold on. It
It
was
it
yeah, the
does.
Secret Warriors, and she was like the main. She was the leader of the team, and it was basically I don't know. It was Nick Fury's like. It was before like Avengers became everything, so it was a way for them to do like Nick Fury's side team. And yeah, the characters were I don't know the names of any of them. Um, it was a way for him to bring back the Howling Commandos in a new
Essentially,
age.
yeah.
And I could totally see them doing that in here. They'll probably try and find yeah, it was Quake, Yo-Yo, Hellfire, Stoneball. Yeah, so people you don't know. But I liked the idea of them setting up a team at the end. I thought that was cool. And um, oh, what's her name that gets sucked into the black?
Gemma,
A
yes,
bit,
my God,
yeah, yeah.
the thing. I still don't know what that thing is.
I don't think it exists in the comic
I don't
books.
think it does either. But like
I've been racking my brain. There's nothing that exists like that
I
that I
didn't
can think of.
I didn't see that going down exactly how it did. Like when Fitz is standing there and you hear the clack, you think, oh well, now they're all screwed. Like I expected that thing was just gonna come pouring out and just like it was gonna rush over the camera, fade to black. That was how this season was gonna end. I didn't expect it to just be like, hey, snack. Okay, I'm cool.
Right. It
What the
almost
hell?
and I don't know why. It reminded me of like Venom. It reminded me of like when like the suit just all over her. But
There
then of
was
course it takes her. If it eats her, if it who knows? I think it probably just ports her somewhere. Oh, what if it like ports her to the Inhuman City?
the real silly,
The real. It's like
Attilan. Yeah.
Attila, yeah, that would what if because the Inhumans is a movie they've pushed out kind of towards the end, like years from now.
Yeah.
You can tell they're building it up in the TV show. If the oh, see, I would I think I mentioned this before on the podcast a few weeks back. Like, what if this season ended with Vin Diesel sitting on a throne, just him just chilling there, and it's he of course isn't going to be in the movies for years, but wouldn't that be neat if in the show he was just bam one shot? I wonder if that's what they're doing because that would be really cool if that's like a portal to that city.
Well, but I don't think so. The way they talked about it, I don't. I don't think so.
Well, they don't know anything about it, right? Like they just know that.
Well,
Nothing.
the Inhumans do. They know what it is.
Well, what did they say it was?
A
Maybe I
weapon.
missed something.
What was it that Gordon said? In the hands of our it's a weapon in the wrong hands or something. The more experienced, I guess, kind of Inhumans knew what it was,
Mm,
but there weren't that many of them. I mean, he knew, Jiaying knew, and I think that may have been it, essentially.
okay,
Aside from characters maybe we haven't been introduced to yet, but like
gotcha.
they were aware of what it was,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
we don't know. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's well,
curious.
it's gonna be interesting. I don't think she's dead. She's
No,
in the
no,
next
God, no.
season, so maybe it gave her abilities. Who knows? But I liked that. That's exactly how the show needed to end, on something like that. Um, and it's what's his face is
He's a vet.
working at a clinic,
He's a vet. I love it.
Mr. Hyde. Yeah.
Yeah, I love what they did with that. Like that character was consistent.
It's so
Even
dangerous though, just leaving him there.
yeah,
You
but
know, who
well,
knows
but
if his memories come back and he goes crazy?
eh, I don't know. I think the way that they kind of set that aside was like, we know it's a possibility, but look, the way that we've told the story, that chapter's closed.
Yeah, yeah.
It's done. His story's over, and I liked how even with like he was kind of erratic and now he's going to do this, now he's going to do that, now he's going to do this. There
Yeah.
was a consistency to him.
Yeah.
There was one solid motivation for
Right.
everything he did, and even though what he did may have been at different ends of the spectrum, it
Mhm.
all came from the same place, and I think he was one of the most consistent characters I've seen on TV in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it's
It's
it was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take all of these of my own super strength potions, and
right.
I'm just gonna rip everybody apart. And then he
His
gets
own
talk,
concoction.
yeah. But then once Coulson finally talks him down, it's like, okay, same motivation, same driving principle, but I see what I have to do is not tear you all limb from limb, but them.
Right.
Like that kind of thing. Like Eddie's, there was it was so genuine. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't like you could see like and yeah, he had his little panic moments when he thought they were gonna just kind of bail
Yeah.
on him, but of course he was going to. Like it's
Oh yeah.
but every like even the crazy stuff he did, like it was all for a reason, and you could see it and you could understand it, and it was
Mhm.
I thought he was tremendously well written. I really did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was cool. And it's I'm glad that they're done tiptoeing around Ward, and then now he's just straight up a bad guy now. There's
Yeah,
no going back.
yeah,
And now he's like what? He's gonna be one of the leaders of Hydra since there's no heads,
it's
you
it. Yeah,
know.
there ain't nothing left.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad that, because at first I was like, okay, they're gonna make him redeem himself. I don't know how they would have because like he's just straight up killed people, you know. So it was, especially Patton Oswalt, like of all people,
Yeah, it
I
was
want
a
to see
bummer.
Oswald. I want to see him kill, Ward when it all comes down to it. That would be cool. But yeah, I like that his character is now straight up bad guy. So that's gonna be interesting. I've never really was interested in May, so I mean, I'm just trying to think of the characters moving forward. It's I guess Fitz and Gemma. Those are probably the two that I like the most. I guess in the whole series, and it's weird because they're not like the main characters at all.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
now we've got Coulson Lannister there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Sure, hey,
exactly.
go
Yeah,
for
see
it, Mac.
that was the remember we were talking about how in this part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe everyone got their hand or arm cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it had happened on the TV show. So how are they? I mean, you think they'll probably just go down the route of Luke Skywalker and give him a robotic hand,
Yeah, there'll be a prosthetic of some kind. I'm sure it'll have to
right?
be.
he might eventually turn into one of those the something model decoy,
A life model decoy. Yeah,
life
right.
model decoy. Yeah,
Well, that's what I kept thinking all the different Patton Oswalds were.
yeah, totally, totally, totally. But maybe they still are. He's just they're all built to think that they're all brothers. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that it was a good season. It in the middle it was a little bumpy, but
The
it's gonna be
build,
interesting coming back.
yeah, the build up getting to the city dragged. Like that was
Hmm.
a big, like to the mid season finale. Like that was a tough road.
Yeah, I would know. Watching it week to week, the last part of the season was too, though. I mean, the last few episodes were good, but before that, it was like that stuff with the Inhumans. It was a little bit of a drag too. I guess you watched it kind of back to back,
Yeah,
so you didn't get the same. But like week to week, I was like, okay, come on, something else has to happen here. Come on, come on, come on. But the last few episodes were really good. And we haven't even really talked about Gotham. Did you ever get into Gotham?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay. Because that ended and I don't I don't even know. Gotham, I gave up on it pretty much halfway through, and then I finished it up and not excited about it. I don't even know what's going to happen in the next season, but I don't know. They got to do something that's gonna. I don't know. We'll talk about that I guess later whenever you catch up on it. But I wasn't that excited about it. But yeah, man. Let's get into comics this week. Um, I mean, I pretty much just read the Secret War stuff. I don't know what you read.
That was it for me too.
All right. We can go through them. Which ones did you? Let's see here. Just go into A Force. What did you think about that one?
I liked A Force.
I did too.
I'm interested in like because I like the foundations for each of the little countries or whatever they're going to be called from here on out. Like
Yeah.
all of the different principalities on Battleworld. Like I want to get to know like how are these things set up? What like what's the structure? Like I'm curious about that. And I like A Force. I do. So
Right, and how like self-aware they are of it's weird because it's like these characters have lived and breathed in this world for a while, but some of them you can tell feel like they just got there.
yeah.
Like especially with the what was it, the Spider-Man one.
Yeah,
Like
with Spider-Verse. Yeah, they were
yeah,
like
with
we've all
Gwen, like you could tell she was like she's humming a song to herself that she knows she's never heard before or something like that, right?
yeah. It just
Yeah.
seems like they all got yanked out of their realities and just dumped here in a
Yeah.
place where they don't know they're from anywhere else. It's like it's different. It's
It's totally different. And the thing is this is one thing where I'm doing for this series for Secret Wars as a whole. I'm just gonna enjoy the story and not try and think too much about
and that's probably for the
where
best.
everyone's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'll be honest, Ultimate End really confused me. Because I'm like, who are these characters? I get some of them are 616.
Right.
Well, let's before we jump into that, let's finish with A Force. At the end, the girl at the end that she's like, who are you?
Yeah.
That was the universe, right? Or
Yes.
Miss Universe?
Or yeah, I forget exactly what because I don't know if they kept sticking with the
Captain
Captain
Universe?
Universe moniker or not. I don't know if they
Yeah.
changed the name or not, but yeah, it was her.
Yeah, so that's where I'm like, is that the 616 one? Because that'd be cool. She's kind of one of the characters I expect to be like out of the norm and that might play a little bit differently into the series. One person I'm wondering where they're at is the Silver Surfer
It's a
because
good
he's a
point.
character that I think would totally play a huge role in this because
Yeah.
he plays with he plays with the rules of the universe a little bit differently than a lot of these other characters do.
Yeah, it's a good point. I never thought
Yeah,
about that.
and I'm trying to catch up on the series. I have all the back issues, and I did read somewhere. It was Dan
Slot.
Slott.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said the Silver Surfer plays hugely into what's happening in Secret Wars, because the same rules don't apply to him
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
interesting.
yeah, I want to see what happens there because if Doctor Doom and all that stuff, he would play right into that,
Yeah.
and he would be a major player in whatever the battle world is. So I want to catch up on that series. If you've never read, have you read his Silver Surfer?
No, but you keep telling me to.
Dude, it is straight out. Anyone listening, if you are a fan of Doctor Who or the original Star Trek series, this is for you. It is straight up Doctor Who or more, I guess more original series Star Trek than anything I've ever read because there's certain issues where it's like episodic. It starts out he has his this girl that he's with and it's his companion just like Doctor Who and they start forming a bond like a relationship and it's I don't know it's cute. It's very like let's go over here and let's see what's over here. I want the best ice cream in the universe. And he goes, I know where that's at. And he takes her to a planet where everything is the best. And the person born on that planet does the best thing of that job. And so like it's bizarre, it's out there, it's very like whimsical or whatever I guess you would say.
Yeah, interesting.
And yeah, and he gets in these just funny, quirky, fun, whimsical like situations. Sometimes it gets a little like serious, but a lot of the times it's just fun. And if you're looking for something just fun and like that, it's perfect because it's just like Doctor Who, where like there's a lot of stuff that they do and say where it's just he's like, what's wrong with acting like a kid right now? Let's just do it. Let's go have ice cream. They're like, we just got shot at. Let's just go have ice cream. It'll make you feel better. That's what happens. And he's trying to figure out like how humans work in a way, because he doesn't understand. Like, there's just one scene, and I'll spoil it, where he's on the board, she's on the board. They're like, let's go on an adventure. Let's go. And she stops every hour for something. I gotta go pee. I need to eat. And he's like, why are we stopping? And she's like, well, I'm human. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to eat. And like one point she says her tonsils hurts and he just sticks her hand through her neck with the power cosmic and pulls out her tonsils. And she's like, what did you do that for? He was like, I took your tonsils out and I helped you. There's no pain and they're gone. And she's like, but I had those my whole life. I didn't say you could take them, that kind of stuff. And she looks mad and she's like, I want ice cream. He's like, why do you want ice cream? And she's like, that's what happens after you get your tonsils taken out. So like, it's that kind of humor. Yeah, it's very, very lighthearted fun, and sometimes you just kind of need that. So I've been reading that, and it's very different from every other Silver Surfer book I've read, because every other Silver Surfer book I've read has been all like just deep stuff, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. The stuff in the '90s where it's like he's looking into the universe and questioning who he is and what he is and that kind of stuff. Like it gets a little deep. But this is just whimsical fun, and it's kind of what it needed, I guess. So I don't know, but it made me think about that. Like, where's the Silver Surfer in this? Because Power Cosmic, it's kind of big. And Galactus, we saw where Galactus is, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. So A-Force, I thought it was cool. I thought it was dope. Whole island full of just female superheroes. And the Thor Force has kind of been like they've been in all of them, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did that as Secret Wars 2. It was a perfect introduction, um, and you can tell that they did that. It really hit me this week why they did that as well, because now you can kind of see the Thor Force going to all these different sections of Battle World. And I'll stop talking. You can go on.
No, no, totally.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, let's get into another one that was a little or Battle World. What'd you think of that?
That was an interesting little collection.
I really liked it. I liked the first story with with the Punisher,
Yeah.
and Doctor Strange is attached to him. Like
It's-
I've never seen that. That was cool.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, and the Wolverine, Spider-Man. Who else was it? It was
Hulk, wasn't it?
yeah, it was Hawk and Ghost Rider.
Yeah. And
And
it
they
was
were
that was
from the Infernal, or yeah, they're Inferno.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
the
were
Inferno series type thing.
yeah. Like
So
that was an interesting quartet.
yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be cool moving forward. Seeing that Wolverine, and we're clearly gonna get other versions of Wolverine, and that's one character that, like, I know people say oversaturates Marvel and blah 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 blah. I love Wolverine, so getting him, he's been gone for a little bit now. He's been gone since, I guess, Axis, since right before Axis when they killed him. And so seeing him back, today comes out with Old Man Logan. That's gonna be really cool. I don't know if you read the Old Man Logan.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's gonna be really cool. I actually want to go back and read it to refresh my memory, but it's I love Wolverine. So seeing him back's cool. I like seeing him in this. And it was such the MODOK stuff I wasn't a fan of. That was just silly.
I'm not a MODOK guy. I'm
No, it
just
was
not.
just weird. And what else was? Oh, okay, so Deadpool's Secret Wars,
That
Secret Wars.
that's the only one I didn't read.
See that one? It's a weird one. It has nothing to do with the Secret Wars.
Right, it's the original Secret Wars.
It's the original, and it's a little bit too much Deadpool for my taste. Like he needs. I like it when he's reined back. When he's in Uncanny X-Force. That's the Deadpool I like.
Here, here.
Where yeah, he doesn't say many words, but when he does, it's funny. And he's the hero in that story. He's the guy out of all of them that's like, we're not gonna kill a kid. I don't care about you, Wolverine, or who, and he's a little bit more serious, but at the same time, he has that sarcastic humor that's dead on, and it should be, because he's Deadpool. This was just Deadpool to the next level. It was, they're all like, wait, who are you? Are you Spider-Man? Are you one of the clones? Like, yeah. But it's cool. It was a cool Deadpool story. I was in, and I'll get the next one. That was fun. Let's see what else came out this week. The Spider-Man one, Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's right. Spider-Verse was this week, wasn't it?
I thought that was cool.
I'm looking forward to it because I loved that was a story. Spider-Verse itself was an event that I absolutely adored.
Yeah,
And
man,
I
get that
read
in hardback.
Yes, I read every tie-in. I loved every reference, every bit of everything. That was so awesome.
Oh yeah.
And so to see, like, okay, we're going to kind of pick up where that left off, sort of in the same sense as we're doing with everything else, which is not really. But like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
in, I'm good, and I like seeing these characters. Again, we have Anya Corazon, we have Spider-Man India, whose name escapes me for a minute. Uh, we have Spider UK. I'm in. Bring it on. Like
Oh yeah.
the more the merrier.
And Spider-Ham.
And and Spider-Ham.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's
Spider-Ham.
like that little story at the end where it sets him up,
Yeah, boy,
right?
that was something.
Yeah. So that was cool. I liked that one. I liked that they started kind of addressing where she's like, something's not right about where I'm at. Um, what about Masters of Kung Fu?
I tell
Master
you
of
what,
Kung Fu.
that was one that I was like, I'm definitely gonna skip this. I've no interest in this. I've never had any interest in this. I picked it up and I was like, damn it, I really like this.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah.
I was really into it.
Yep. Yeah, and maybe I'm a big idiot, but I could tell that the people he was fighting were just weird versions of Marvel characters, right? That's what they're going for?
I probably, yeah.
Yeah, like there's certain here, I don't know where it's even at. But there were certain characters, like one with the eye patch, like clearly to me was like a Nick Fury knockoff. There were some other characters that just to me just screamed Marvel characters. Maybe I'm wrong. I need to go back and read it.
Entirely
But
possible.
yeah. It really it reminded me of like X-Men or Avengers, certain characters. But I don't know. I thought it was super cool, and moving forward, it's gonna be interesting. And one that yeah, so I'm definitely gonna pick up the next one of that. What else do we got here? We had Planet Hulk. What
Planet
did you think
Hulk.
about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it seems they all are pretty interesting. Not at all was I was expecting that at all, you know?
No, I didn't realize we were gonna get like a world where everybody was turned into a Hulk. Like that's not where I thought this was going at all.
No, I thought it would be like different versions of the Hulk.
Yeah.
So it was cool, and that's why, I'm not getting what I expected from Secret Wars, but in a way, I'm totally digging it.
Yeah.
It seems like they're just doing a bunch of elsewhere where stories, you know?
Well, I mean, I think that was the entire point.
Right, but I guess I didn't realize that. I thought,
Yeah.
in a way, in a sense, they were going to be not retelling the stories, but doing it a little bit differently. Not exactly like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like
yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
with Planet Hulk, it would be not a retelling of the story, but just how told slightly different. I guess I didn't know what to expect. This was not it, and I'm glad it was. So
Yeah.
if you knew that, more power to you. But I didn't know we were gonna get Captain America and where's Bucky? Like it's all and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah, come
What?
on, man.
And then you get Hulk at the end. And I thought that was so cool. I thought that was so cool. So I'm super interested in that to see where that goes. It's gonna be a shame to that's why I want to collect all of these, because at the end of it, where are these stories gonna go? They're just gonna be these self-contained little, like you could tell someone, oh, you should really pick up Planet Hulk 1 through 3,
Yeah, exactly.
or whatever it is. Yeah. So I want it all in one collection. I can go back and read it, and who knows? Maybe they'll come. I'm sure they'll come out with a super duper big omnibus one day. But
Oh yeah.
but yeah, the one that confuses me though
Okay.
is this Ultimate End.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand.
What you have here, this is kind of the quintessential example of what you get with Spider-Verse, which is here's a group of the Ultimates and the Avengers, and nobody knows how. They know this is wrong, but they don't know how they got there.
So are they? This is where where I said I really should just not try and figure out, because this whole time we've been doing Secret Wars. I haven't seen someone from the 616 unless it was the Thanos crew. Those people I know were from the original universe.
Well,
Everyone else are basically been Doctor Doom's, you know, they've been, I'm going to bring everyone back to life the way I want it and put thoughts and memories and whatever in their heads.
right.
Except for, of course, Thanos and whoever's in that ship. This seems like these are the characters that were brought here. That, when they were brought to that ship, suddenly they're sitting in a high-rise apartment talking about whatever. It's almost like Bendis and Hickman they weren't on the same page with how this was going to work.
Well,
Does that make sense?
yes and no.
So is this Cyclops from the 616? Is this Tony Stark from the 616 in Ultimate Universe? Because
Yes.
Tony Stark from the Ultimate Universe was dead
No.
when the planet exploded. No?
No. He was alive.
So where was he? Where was he?
In the middle of the fight with everybody else.
That's what I mean. The planet's exploded. He died.
Well, I mean,
The only people I assume didn't die were on the ship with Fantastic Four. Well, Reed Richards.
right, but
Everyone else blew up except for the people they handpicked.
but where's Reed?
We don't know that yet.
Exactly.
And see, okay, but that's what I'm saying. He's not in this.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean.
They're not. It's these two stories to me aren't gelling together.
I think they will become clearer a little further down.
I hope, because I mean that's not even the same Cyclops. Cyclops looked completely different. Like he turned into the Phoenix Force, and he's not that in here.
Well, because
I mean, even Wanda looks different. Like,
Well-
was she even saved?
Well, but I mean that's the thing. Does this world have a Phoenix Force? Could he have actually brought it with him? Or
But see,
did-
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I assumed that the people that were on the ship, it's still kind of a mystery where they are. The ones like Miles and them, They and even the 616 Peter Parker, it makes it seem like that's him in the book, but I, I just or is that is okay? So is that the 616 Peter Parker? It has
Yes.
to be. It's not the Ultimate one.
Right, because the Ultimate One uh, died, and
People
then
knows his name.
right, that's why that Peter Parker was freaking out.
Right, right. So that's the 616. So these were the ones that were brought onto the ship. So where is
But
Black
if
Panther? Where is the Illuminati? They're not in that room. At least I didn't
exactly,
see them.
like I think that this is just a question will get an answer to.
I hope
We just
because it
don't have it
really
yet.
seems like Bendis is not on the same page as Hickman. It seems like he just wanted to do his own little story,
I
if
think
that
it.
makes
Oh,
sense.
oh, I'm pretty sure this is when it comes to the main players, especially. I'm pretty sure they have it hardcore mapped out.
I hope. I mean, you would think because Hickman has been Hickman has been doing the biggest map out he could have ever done.
Yeah, I
Um,
got the corkboard for this thing. Like I just keep picturing like conspiracy theorists who have like the yarn, like a gymnasium full of yarn strung up between all these different points. Like that's what I keep thinking the
right.
outline for this must have been like.
And the 616 Tony Stark,
Right,
was it the one sitting down or no, that was
standing.
the Ultimate?
That was the ultimate, because that was the one talking about. That was the one that seemed like he was more of a wreck.
Okay. And the
Yeah,
one but here's the thing. The 616 Tony Stark is an alcoholic again. He was wearing a white suit fighting Captain America. It
right.
just none of this makes sense. Why is he in a red suit? Where's
Uh,
Captain America? What the hell's going on? Like, see that it just loses me because I thought if they brought, we see that Tony Stark or we see that Captain America, there'd be some explanation. But he's in a completely different suit. He's acting differently because the one is inverted. You know what I mean? The one from the 616 is still a dick. He's a bad guy. And in this, it doesn't seem like I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at it
I
wrong,
think
but
I think that with Secret Wars 3 today, we're gonna find out.
is Secret Wars 3 coming out today? I don't
Pretty
think it
sure.
is.
I think it is.
Here, let's look that
Oh
up
no,
because
next
I'm
week. Next
pretty
week,
sure
my
it's
bad.
not.
Next week. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a weird schedule. This week they're having a lot of the side stuff,
Yeah.
which is cool. I'm totally into it. I do want to get to 3 though because I need to know what's going on in the kind of main story here. This Ultimate one's I wasn't like disappointed by it. I was just really confused. So I do hope that in the next one maybe it's explained a little bit better, or in some of these, somewhere it's explained,
Yeah.
because I'm lost with the stuff. Because I should know the difference between the two Tony Starks, and I don't right
Well,
at
but I
this
mean
point.
that's the thing. The 1610 Tony Stark wasn't really redeemed the last time I checked. Like he
Yeah,
was.
no,
That's
no, neither one of them are. They're both just dicks, but I
yeah.
didn't know which one was which.
But I don't know.
Right? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. And then the whole portal thing. I remember that from what was it? Was it
Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, well, the crossover they did, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when he sees the other Tony Stark, he was like, I was about to go to the bathroom. Where are you at? I officially lost it. So is that how he came over? I wasn't he fighting Captain America at the time?
You
See, you
know?
see what I mean? Like it doesn't add up.
But I wonder. Hang on.
Go back and read it. We'll talk about it next
Aren't
week.
there
But
two? Aren't there two Manhattans?
they're, yeah, it's like they're put together.
Right, but isn't there like some really specific pocket of it that's like Ultimate Universe, and one
I
really specific part of it that's 616?
I can go back. Let me just look at the
If you've got a
map
map of
here.
Battle World handy, like Manhattan's weird.
Yeah, there's specific places that 616. Yeah, because there's two towers for the Fantastic Four.
Right, for
Yeah,
starters.
where which one was that on? Was it on
They were. Oh hell, I don't remember.
was it A Force? Here, let me look real fast. Probably not good for a podcast to do this, but
No, but it just kind of goes to underscore like
was
some
it
of
on
these.
Battle World?
Yeah.
Let's see here. It was on one of these. Maybe it's Battle World. Let's see. It's at the very beginning of one of them.
Yeah, where they've got the map essentially.
Yeah, I'm going through
Um,
them all real fast. It's not Master Kung Fu, Secret War. Nope, nope, nope.
well, I know there
It,
was one at the end of the first Secret Wars. Of
oh,
Secret
okay,
Wars number
maybe.
one. I know there was one.
But I know which one you're talking about,
Yeah.
and it's one of these, beginning of one of these, but
Oh, it's
I'm not
Ultimate
finding
End.
it.
Isn't it Ultimate End?
I thought it would have been, but I didn't see it.
Then
I
maybe it
just
was Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I just looked at Spider-Verse 2. It's not there.
Huh. Hell,
Yeah. Here, I'll look at
the
Ultimate End
map
one more time.
vanished. The map's in a different world too. Crap.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
It clearly has, and it states the two different areas, and it has the two different towers for the Fantastic Four, and it's
Yeah. So I mean that's the thing. It makes me wonder, like when they pulled that Tony Stark, so I was just about to go to the bathroom. Was that because he was in that
here I got it.
Avengers Tower? Like
Yeah, maybe, but he was fighting Captain America. What did you like? Just go on bathroom break?
Well, but no, I mean like after that. Like this is post. Okay, everything that's come through has come through, and people are living their day-to-day lives that they don't know aren't the same
See
lives they
that
were living. And
exactly. That's the other thing. Are
yeah,
they just versions of that Doctor Doom created in this world, and they know something's different? Kind of like how Gwen knows something's different.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's got Nelson and Murdoch, New Ultimates hideout, Avengers Mansion. It's got the Baxter Building, and then it's got the Baxter Building 1610.
yeah.
And Stark Tower, and yeah, so it's got all the different. Yeah, it says here's we're force we're powerless to save it. Now all that remains is Battle World, massive pitchfork, blah 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 blah. Blah. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's what I
I'm
mean.
looking
Like
at that too.
I think they pulled this Tony Stark over from after all of this had already happened.
Yeah, it's to me it's just like Bendis is like I'm doing my own thing because why is Hickman ending what I created? I want to end what I created, kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's how I get the feel. It's a vibe I get from this thing.
I think it's just because we're missing a piece. I think once we get that piece, then it's good. Then we're gonna say, "Oh, this makes sense."
Well, you know what I read that Secret Wars 2 was supposed to be number 1. Like that's where they wanted to start the series off.
Let's confuse everybody even more.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it makes sense though, because Secret Wars 2 is like the beginning of something, where Secret Wars 1 is like the end of something. It makes sense the way they did it. I like how they did it.
Yeah, I can understand both ways, but I like the way they did it better.
Oh yeah. Secret Wars 1 just feels like the ending to his run, though.
Right.
But they had to do that as number 1. They had to do the end of the world as that big one that kicks off everything.
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, dude, it's. That's about it for the comics.
Yeah.
But man, it's this week's coming out. I don't know if I have a list in front of me.
Inferno #1, Infinity Gauntlet #1, Inhumans, Attilan Rising #1, Modoc Assassin #1, Old Man Logan #1. They're all #1. Old Man Logan, Secret Wars 2099, Secret Wars Journal, and Where Monsters Dwell are all the Secret Wars tie-ins this week.
It's gonna be cool. Journal's gonna be cool. I liked Journal when it was in Civil War a lot, so that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, man. Well, that's the show for today. It's not as long as it normally is,
yes,
but that's
it
okay.
Is.
Oh, it is. Oh, we just kept talking then. but
we found a way to make it work.
Exactly. But next week, I'll be here talking about The Witcher. I'll probably see one of the movies that are out. Who knows? You take bets now. I'm sure you'll see probably Mad Max, right?
I'll make it a point to. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we'll talk about Mad Max next week. I'll get Witcher, and of course Secret Wars, and probably the end of Convergence. I don't know if you'll catch up or not, but
we'll see.
I'll at least mention, talk about it, what I thought about it and stuff. But yeah, so anyway, that's the show, and we'll see you next week. Now, if you want to
social media.
Yeah. If you want to reach us on Twitter, it is at We Geek Podcast. Our email is wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, our Facebook, We Geek podcast, like, share, do the whole 9 yards, and we'll post, all the updates there and on our personal pages as well.
Oh, and the thing. I did the thing. I talked about last week. I was going to do the thing, and I did the thing. We need to post the thing.
Yes, I thought we did. I thought I posted that.
I didn't look. We might have.
Oh, yep. Okay, I'll go back in case we didn't. But yeah, you posted the thing with Cisco, right?
Yeah, all of the like his best moments. It's like it's like 5 minutes of just awesomeness.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I believe I posted. If I didn't, you'll see that now. But yeah, yeah. So anyway, man, it's late, Captain.
Captain, 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 Captain.